Wake up with the sun in a steaming cup. Tune into the show where the vibes heat up. The Morning Mac got the flavor, got the glow. Start it right, let your energy flow. High takes rising like the morning brew. Fresh ideas and a laugh or two. From the first headline to your daily dose. This is the show where your spirit goes. Oh, it's the Morning Mac, where the time don't lag. Get your inspiration packed in a casual swag. Sip it slow, feel the rhythm hit your toes. Welcome to the place where the good vibes grow. Dreams alive. The Mac got the groove, keeping you in stride. No snooze, just choose to wake up bold. This is your hour, let your story unfold. New ideas with the sunrise spark. Fuel for your fire when the world feels stark. Spinning the tracks of your mental glow. Every listen's a hit on the Morning Mac Show. Oh, it's the Morning Mac, where the time don't lag. Get your inspiration packed in a casual swag. Welcome to the place where the good vibes grow. With a sunrise spark, fuel for your fire when the world feels stark. We're spinning the tracks of your mental glow. Every listen's a hit on the Morning Mac Show. Oh, it's the Morning Mac, where the time don't lag. Get your inspiration packed in a casual swag. Sip it slow, feel the rhythm hit your toes. Welcome to the place where the good vibes grow. Where the good vibes grow. Roll out of bed, bring your dreams alive. The Mac got the groove, keeping you in stride. No snooze, just choose to wake up bold. This is your hour, let your story unfold.
Grand Rising people, Grand Rising everybody. I want to say, look, it's almost afternoon. Good afternoon, almost like them not have made it. I do apologize for being late, but my body is out of sorts right now. You know, every now and then again it gets like that, and it's around that time. Every 3 months, it's around that time. So I do want to apologize to everybody for that. But thank you for my fabulous cast and crew members and producers that be holding stuff down for me. They got me up on point, up on a good foot, and they was here in the house ready to rock and roll. I can't take nothing away from these men. They are on top of their game, and I am truly thankful for my men that's around me. I love my babies. Oh gosh. it's been a stressful week. A reflection again. Every time we lose a loved one, like I said, lost a loved one this week. It's always a reflection on some woulda, coulda, shoulda stuff, and people coming out, pouring out their hearts and all of this. I want to say, tell people you love them and you care when they hear. I want you to tell me that you got my back, that you're there for me, that you're thinking about me. Any little thing while I'm here, any minute thing, even if it's you call me up and just say, bitch, I was thinking about you. Click. It's okay. It's okay to reach out and touch folks that you care for, because at any given time, at any blink of moment, we're gone. We're not here. And I just want to, just tell y'all that if you love somebody or if you're even thinking about somebody, just call them for a millisecond to say, I've been thinking about you. You never know how much that means to people, to folk. And I got to get better with doing that my daggone self. As humans, why do we tend to forget about people? You ever notice that you was in a relationship or a friendship or something with one of your partners, all your booze, and you just stop talking to each other? Like you get busy, they get busy, and you just stop connecting. Never had no fallout, never had nothing. It's just you drift apart. And sometimes life happens like, oh, I'm busy, or I'll call them later, or it's like, oh, I'll wait for them to call me, and vice versa. I better stop waiting. You don't got time like you think you got time. You better stop waiting. You be like, oh, I'm going to call them tomorrow, and you did today. Think about it. Just think about it. Oh, man, I am out of CMOS again, but that's okay. I'm getting ready to get some more in the works and everything. That really helps me with my allergies. So what I did last night, I doubled up on my pill. And allergy medicine works like this, folks. Everybody knows that suffer with allergy. I suffer with year-long allergies. So after a while, me taking a certain brand, that brand don't work no more. I have to take a Zyrtec or I have to take something else in the mix because my body got used to whatever brand that I'm taking. So I think now it's time for me to switch up. June's coming in and some different plants are being bloomed. So maybe I have to switch up and go to Zyrtec for the next 2 months. And then I can switch back to the other Amazon medicine, or then I can switch back to something else, but it goes like that. So with me and my body, I have to change up the allergy medicine for it to be effective again. But enough being said, because if you get your ass to CMOS to take it daily, and I'm talking about the gelatinous form, I wouldn't need the allergy medicine, but I'm so hard-headed. But I'm going to buckle down and do what I know I need to do for me. Baby. All right, this is Wellness Wednesday, and we're talking about PTSD, but not just PTSD, but PTSD in children. How sometimes we can give them that and not even know it as parents, But it's okay because nobody wrote the rule book on being a parent. Like, this is how you be a perfect parent. Ain't no such thing. No such thing as a perfect parent. Ain't no such thing as perfect human. Ain't no such thing. But you just do what you can, and we'll go with what we know. You know what I mean? But without further delay, let's say good morning to the fellas. Super producer Molly Mall and Big Trey. And my big brother
I'm
Rodney.
looking at Rodney with that. Y'all pop up like
good.
with that 8 in the morning high like you as a
Look, Trey Money.
Oh my gosh, my eyes are so blurry.
Man, you just kick this shit out, man. He trying to come up all casual and shit.
That's so he can
Play with it, don't play with it.
Oh, don't play
that's so
with
he can,
was
that's so
good.
he can hit me when he want to. Be like, shut up, Reese. Pat.
There you go. Shades of blue. If you ain't got
That
your
camera
book,
is
get it
sharper.
down. You
They
know what
do,
I'm
and I
saying?
didn't even.
But it's all good. How you doing? Welcome to Wellness. We call Wellness Wednesday. Also, Wake Up Wednesday. Just another Wednesday. We can have a good time talking about PTSD. Take Josh face out from in front of me like that, Molly. Damn, man. I'm trying to talk. You got me all covered up and everything. What's up, Josh? Send me a link tomorrow too. I'm trying to join your show tomorrow. too. But everything good. Just having a good Wednesday, enjoying the day, trying to stay at a 10. It's mental health. Is it mental health month this month or was that last month? I don't. Can't keep up.
That was last
Last
month.
month.
Whatever. It's mental health for me now, so I'm gonna call it what it is for me now. Everything good though. I'm glad I get the opportunity to join y'all and have some fun. What's going on,
Yeah,
Trey?
let's see what we talking about today. Ain't too much for real. Shit, I'm off today, so I'm gonna slide on this bitch and see what the fuck popping, what the conversation is, what the word is.
Yeah,
That's
make
all
sure
it
you
is.
check out yesterday Monday's show too, man. I had the kids on there representing. Had my
Yeah, we was just
daughter
talking about
on
that right
there.
before you came in that joint too. Right before you came in the studio this morning, we was just talking about that.
Yeah,
Had-
that is a good show.
You got some
I,
clips
I was on there. I
from when the kids take over. You got some clips for that?
think you post a highlight from there or something, right?
yeah. I got a bunch of clips I can pull up. Yeah, but it's all
Okay.
good.
Yeah,
We'll
it
get
was
into it.
as kids. Then I got to hear baby girl tell, some stories on how I was growing up with Beats as a young dad, and now as they got older, how he evolved as a dad as well. So I was like, okay, that makes sense now. Because when I was early on my child, I was terrible. As she got older, I got a little better. So I ain't the only one. I see it works like that. Whatever we growing up as they growing. So I was learning as I was listening as well. I was like, dang. I'm gonna use some of this for my child's growing up. I'm taking some of this, some of that. The other guy, his kid was valedictorian. He was smart, but you could tell he got that military dad. He real disciplined, but they so much similar. Like Beast and his daughter had a lot of opposites. They had to figure out how to work. Them two, they was similar. He's like, I like most of the things my dad like. Dad like most of the decisions that he make. His father mostly would have made that same decision most times. But it's cool. They were some smart kids, man. I can't wait to the next show.
Man, when you one day I'm gonna have Chief Jimmy on it. I had him on and we talked about other stuff, but to hear his story, because I knew that nigga. I grew up with him. And he was on a one-way path to jail. There was no other path. He was on a one-way path to jail, man. I went to a party with him. He was selling drugs, and all this shit is open. He was selling drugs, and what you call it, and he used the money he was supposed to be paying his supplier to go.
Hollywood?
Huh? Nah, I don't know if he wants me to tell that part, but he used the money. How about that? He used the money, didn't have the money to pay the supplier. And we was at a party, and the supplier came into the party, snatched that nigga out the party, put him in the car, and we like, oh shit. So we went out there with him and started walking, and then they drove off, and next thing you know, we see this nigga door roll over while the car moving. He jump out the car and haul ass running. The supplier hop out the car with a gun, start shooting at him as he running. This, that, and the other. So when I tell you we was in that jump, he was in that jump for real. I knew he was going to jail. You know what I'm saying? I knew that he was doing, and there's a lot more stories than that. I'm just giving you that one story. But
When he told us that was deep. And y'all stood there and watched this.
What we gonna do? We ain't had no guns. You talking about we were 15. We ain't had no guns.
I mean, I'd have been gone. I wouldn't have been even there to see it.
No, we caught up with him. We caught up with him, and that dealer did catch him, so he did survive it. But he was hurt up, and but to make the long story short, when he told us he was going into the army, for us, it was like he either doing army or jail. You know what I'm saying? So he decided army, and it changed his life. That dude that you meet now with his kids is not even close to the same dude that was like back in the days when we grew up. We was retarded, man. You know,
he mentioned that. He said that. I heard him. He said, "Man, I was wild boy, Rodney. Y'all know." He said, "I wish I was in the house, playing games like y'all. I wish I was more like y'all growing up, But we all live and we learn. He's probably one of them kids that was just wild. Like he gotta be out there all the time. Some kids we get there, dib and dab, but we still gonna play the game, play sports. He was that kid. that kid that
Like,
doing
Nah, he was
24/7
living it.
early.
Nah.
Yeah.
Me, Troy, what you call it? Like when we were that young, like I got wild when I was wild. I mean, I was wild, but I was like in and out. You know what I'm saying? I had football. I was still focused on.
What's up, Alan?
I had other stuff I was focused on. I was like in and out, like, but he was in it. You know what I'm saying? You know how you got your boys. You got your boys and this, that, and the other. Where you live in that life. You go to the parties, you see the scene. Yeah, you see the drugs and you see the shit like that.
Yeah.
But he was in it. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit was real every day, all day.
Alan said back in the day.
If he was going to school, it was to move product. It wasn't to get education. You know what I'm
So
saying?
how did he graduate?
He went to the army.
I mean, it don't mean it was stupid. That was the other thing you gotta
He the
understand.
smartest kid.
Yeah, don't mean he was stupid. He was by far not stupid at all. You know what I'm saying? But it was the life he chose. He wanted to be in selling drugs and doing all that shit. And and there was moments I was there helping him and doing other things too during my life, but I wasn't in it. Like, I go do a run with him or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But I go do a run with him, or he'd be like, "Hey, yo, I'm getting ready to do something sketchy. Come with me, make sure everything good, shit like that." You know what I'm saying? Like we did stuff like that with him, but he was every day.
That is also dangerous because my little cousin lost his life for riding with somebody, and y'all know because it was on the news right here. He got executed, shot in the back of his head on June the 1st. It's his anniversary when he passed because he was running with the wrong person. He wasn't. He was like you, Rodney. He wasn't in it, and he was just riding the wrong people. And a harmless run. Come ride with me. Got you RIP.
Trust me, there was plenty of come ride with me that almost got me RIP. You know what I'm saying? But he got his. I think because he got his house ran. Some rival guys ran up in his house.
So
and duct tape, yeah, his father, everything. They had him on the floor, duct tape, all that shit.
Oh wow!
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. When I say he was in it, he was in it. It wasn't like like I said, like me, I might have took a couple packages and did a couple things, but nah, he was every day, all day. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And but yeah, once that stuff started happening, like they ran in there and got his father. They didn't kill anybody, but they duct tape everybody on the ground, robbed them, and all that shit. And once all that stuff happened, then he decided to go into the military, and just like you, if you good at selling drugs, man, you can be good at everything. You know what I'm saying? So he became a chief and became, did 20 plus years in the army and raised a valedictorian. His daughter's also on a full ride to Virginia Tech too, both of his kids. You know what I'm saying? Like from being the neighborhood drug dealer to now raising two children who are doing amazing things and going to be amazing people. It shows that and we was kind of talking about that too, is the other, we talk about these wild boys that are out here on the street and this, that, and the other. A lot of times these wild boys are some of the smartest niggas They just don't have the access, and they just don't have the people behind them to push them in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? And that can be
PTSD.
Yeah, absolutely.
That blends right into what the topic of the show that we're talking about: childhood PTSD, trauma, and drama, what brings us into the fold of different stuff.
I wasn't Trey. I wasn't Trey from Boys in the Hood. Nah, I wasn't Trey. I was. Yeah, I wasn't Doughboy. Yeah, I wasn't Doughboy either, but I wasn't Trey. That's for sure.
I definitely became Trey in my neighborhood. Like my buddies, it wasn't even that I wanted to get out the car. They will push me out the car. Like, nah, bro, you got a game. Like, nah, bro, like you can't be in here no more. They got it. Nah, this car's stolen, bro. Nah, you can't go. So it was more protection, but That was most of my friends. Your buddy, that was half of my friends, and a lot of them got killed though. So it was good that he got a second chance. Like he got to think about it, and like make changes. Because at 15, man, you don't be thinking too much. And then most time when somebody rob you, and you know who it was, we getting that back. And at 15, we shooting at somebody shoot at our friends at 15. We was a different era. We started to carry guns early. So if like these kids now, 11, 12 years old. So it's ridiculous. I never thought at 11 I had to worry about a gun. But I think about 15, like, yeah, if that dude just shot at our friend, we just lit the car. So it's just like different times, different eras. But it's like if the Army was saving kids, I know for me it was sports. I see Allen says sports, Slicky said music. Like they gotta find something, because if they don't, they gonna find the streets will find them if they live in that area, or in that type of area. Because most of my friends that sold drugs early on, even when they did in school, they did it because they ain't have, they parents they ain't have the money to buy them clothes, back to school shit, and this and that. And then when they start getting the money, they was like, shit, this feel good to be able to take care of bills and take care of people when they need it. Now I got money of my own. And most of them were smart kids, straight A students. It's just that they're embarrassing. They ain't like going to school being dirty, having the same holy shoes and shit. So they just stopped making money. I was like, I'm fortunate to have at least 1 or 2 pairs of shoes to start the school off with. A lot of kids in our area didn't. So I be with the back to school drives and all that. Y'all got stuff to give away, because I know some kids out here, they like, man, I ain't trying to go to school. I had these all summer.
And then the terrible thing. Go ahead, Rodney.
No, I was gonna say, I guess, but that was like week 1 of me knowing these guys. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Like I had just moved, so I was new to the so all right, so I moved over in that neighborhood. So I used to live in I grew up in northeast, and then I grew up my grandmother lived in northeast. So I spent all my summers and grew up there. And then my neighborhood was called Summerhill, which is over here I think the school Thurgood Marshall is what it's called now, in Temple Hills, Maryland. But then when I turned like 15 or something like that, my mom moved. I had 2 different houses. So I lived with my brother, and my mom had got out the hospital, got her shit together, and I went back to live with my mom. There was a specific time that I did not live with my mom. So I moved to this neighborhood, and that's when I met Jimmy and all these other guys that are like my close high school friends now. And that was like the first week I was there. You know what I'm saying? That's what I experienced, and I was like, yo, this shit is crazy over here. And I loved every second of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Every second of it. And then, like I'm saying, when that happened, that was when we was young. I mean, when we was young. When we got older, even when we got older and stuff like that, he became a better dealer. That was like
he became a better.
Yeah. You got to understand what I'm saying. He's 15 years old, so you ain't the best drug dealer in the world. You know what I'm saying? You got as he got older, then put it this way: if he moving enough weight to get to not do all the stuff at 15 and 14, where do you think he was at 18?
Yeah.
You got what I'm saying?
Little clique, the king of his clique.
Yeah, so I mean, those were that was like growing pains in the beginning, and then after a while, and then next thing you know, he's the nigga shooting. He you know what I'm saying? He ain't the Bama getting shot at. He the Bama shooting. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, him money now.
That he wasn't going to be the shooter no more. How old was he when he decided to really change his life?
18 or 19. Because I think he went when I went to college. Because I went to college, and then after that, during that time is when he went to the military. When he was like 19, he ended up going into the military and stuff like that. We thought he was batshit crazy because he just came out of nowhere and was like, "Yeah, I signed up for the Army." And we was like, "For real?" We was like, "What you doing?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be a paratrooper." We was like, "You jumping out of airplanes?" He was like, "What the hell's wrong with you?"
Rodney Allen asked how old you were, if you don't mind him asking.
how old I am now. I am 46.
I think he was comparing y'all ages because a lot of stuff
They
y'all
close in age. They close in age. She was the same age as Just.
So, you know, we grew up over there, and I mean, it had, you know, it was, you know, it was what it was, man. But to see him now and hear him quoting scriptures and stuff like that is mind blowing to me. You know,
man, that's big.
Anyway. All right. So check out that episode. It's a great episode, and it was kind of hard for me to. And as a parent, it really is hard for now listening to my daughter's 18, listening to her. You know, because you, as a parent, you really think you did a great fucking job all the time, at least most of the time. And then, you know, you hear that, you know, sometimes your kids go through things that you
say, yeah, he was Trey.
Huh? I wasn't Trey.
Alan said he said you was Trey on Boys in the Hood.
I wasn't. I wasn't. I damn sure didn't get out the car. So that's the problem. Trey was smarter than me. I didn't get out the car. I promise you that.
He said, "How you feeling this?"
Yeah, I would have said I was the athlete, but he got killed in that movie, so I stick with Trey. Yeah, Trey lived the least. So they supposed to protect more. He was out there, Ricky. They supposed to protect him. He was the money bag. Like y'all out there keeping the way out with Ricky. They ain't supposed to work. They knew Mio bro was gonna make it. Bro made it to the NFL. But every time, even in high school, you fuck with him, you fuck with the whole Southeast. Not even just a neighborhood, the whole Southeast, because he was representing the whole city, the people who know him. So it's just like, damn, you got to protect those ones that's special, and they showing their gift early on. You know, but they let Ricky get hit up, and there's some niggas around the corner. He did the same shit his brothers and them did. Where them niggas at? That shit hurt when you lose a friend, you know, a nigga you grew up with every day, and you know he wouldn't sit around if that was you. That's all you're gonna be thinking. That was me lying right there. He'd be in his car, you know.
Yeah, so it was more like that when we got 17 and 18. When we got 17 and 18, then that's when we was like, we'd run up on a nigga. You mess with somebody like that, we coming to your hood. You know what I'm saying? That was more like 7. I'm talking about when we 14 and 15, we was like, oh, hell nah. We was getting the hell out of there. We ain't had no guns then. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, we weren't fortunate enough then. I'm glad we didn't, because shit, if we had shot at that dude would have killed all of us. He was a Nino Brown type nigga. He wasn't playing none of them gangs.
And
so,
this
you know.
is where your PTSD
with them kids.
Somebody gets shot in front of you. Being a product, and you know you have to keep that kind of stuff in and stuff, and you can't go to your parents with that, or you don't want to go to your parents with that. We keep a lot of trauma locked in us, and sometimes you see people acting all erratic and angry. It's because sometimes of what we have gone through as kids. When they say you ain't supposed to see that kind of stuff as a kid, but because we live in a life. Even now, where we throw our children into adult situations, a child don't have no business in some things, but as they grow up, they grow up. That's what grows them up fast and traumatized, being in an adult situation, and they feel like I did all of this and that, just like an adult. Well, hey, I'm an adult. I've been through just as much as they did. They went to Vietnam. We survived the streets. We was dodging and ducking bullets, you know. That's in some cases, you know. And I'm just glad that y'all made it out, that y'all made it to a safe place, because we still fighting this stuff every day. Y'all not the ones shooting, but we still ducking and dodging.
I mean, but we all are still fighting childhood trauma.
That's what,
I mean, every day. I mean, a lot of stuff that is made, everyone is from the traumas that you've dealt with as a child. Now, like I said, telling in the story that, you know, there was a point in time that I was not with my mom. But I grew up in, you know, but I had to, my dad died when I was 11. My mom had lupus back then. And she went into a mental health facility because my mom was in St. E's for a while because the lupus, when my father died, the lupus attacked her and they thought she was going crazy because she was like, I'm in pain, this, that, and the other. I'm not, you know, the stress from the lupus was killing her. and they didn't understand lupus back then like that. So they put her in a psychiatric ward. So I was on my own from ages 11 to about 16. I went back to live with my mom once she got out, but then I was basically growing up in a trap house. My brother was a huge drug dealer, sold PCP, and he sold a lot of PCP. He was like the biggest PCP supplier in the area. And man, there was times I woke up and there was just bodies on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Where I had to step past bodies. But that also happened in my childhood when I was 5, because my brother had been dealing and selling drugs for many, many, many years, even before that. So, it was that's the reason why I didn't even smoke weed or try any kind of drug until I was over 40. You know what I'm saying? Because I watched, like, I watched somebody get high for PCP and then step out in front of a bus. I was like 7.
Yeah, that shit be popping off right up the street right now.
Yeah. But as a kid, you only supposed to see that shit. You know what I'm saying, and protect your kids from that. But I mean, now kids nowadays have different traumas. Like, we grew up in that crack era and that drug era. But yeah, they got drugs now, but now it's a different type of drama. It's a drama of always being filmed. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't imagine being filmed all the time. Like, all the shit I did when I was a child, if you could pull up the footage, you know what I'm saying, at any given time, that's a trauma in its own. And that's what the kids nowadays have to deal with. Like, everything they do can be highlighted and put and blasted to millions and millions of people. What if every single one of your mistakes could be blasted to millions and millions of people, and then you get to hear them comment on your mistakes? You know what I'm saying?
That's a lot. Because you watching it over and over, and it's just like, where's the grace? Where's the forgiveness?
Opposite of tragedy. There's a comic I use pain to make me laugh. I made it 60 years old. Big 60. I hope to live that long. That's double my life. That'll be a whole another 30 years if I make it to 60 years old. So,
what you say, Trey?
He was talking about the comment.
I was talking about the comments about. Yeah, I'm not talking to y'all. I'm just talking to the people commenting.
Okay, you said somebody hoped to live to 60.
No, I was.
Woo Boo said he's 60.
Okay. Yeah, people see it.
I'm sorry, am I cutting you off, Trey? My bad.
There's been a lot. Dickie hear that said that he's been backstage, Molly. He said just because. No, that's not what he said. He said just because B says he's different doesn't make it so. It's the same today as it was then. Drop the mic.
It's a lot more comments than that.
And Brenda's.
What up, Brenda?
Hey, good morning, Brenda. Dickie, shout.
You get that money, girl.
Hey, Connie. Hey, Cheryl. My cousin's watching. I got family watching. Oh my goodness, quite a bit. I know, right? Charlene, Dr. Charlene, Gerald Brown, DJ Slicky Woo Boo, LA Josh Preston. Brenda was.
He lost 30 friends from 89 and 97 in the streets. Went to jail and changed life. That's tough.
And Brenda says, well, I have to go. Oh, she said she have to go to work. She said she had to go to work.
What up, JB? We can see it in the comments.
It was in y'all's past. She said she's sorry to
Charlene.
Dr. Charlene.
I'm not sorry. It all made me the man I am today.
Lady J.
Things you go with, they can destroy you or they can build you. You know what I'm saying? It's about whatever you take. Everybody has a story. I'm sure everyone has a story that they can tell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the two things it can do is it can either build you to be a stronger person or it can destroy you.
But you know what, Rodney? Like you said, and I never thought of it, so you just said it, that just we don't have our mistakes on film. We don't have the dumb stuff we did or got into. So,
Molly, you got an echo.
we could say that we're sorry and apologize, or pray about it, and it's keep on moving. A lot of times, like you said, they got cameras, a phone in their face, and then people will take somebody tragedy or how somebody feel or whatever, their PTSD, and blast it, and next thing you know, you trending on social media, and that's also trauma. Your emotions, and they play it back to you over and over again. That makes people act a certain way or make people want to hurt other people because they don't know how to deal with what's going on, and that's where your anger and stuff come from, especially with children. And you got to watch that when children, hey, when you know your child not speaking, or your child may be sad or mad, as parents we need to investigate what's going on. Skippy, you ain't been going outside. What's going on? Something's going on. Something's going on in that child's life. And parents, we are so blind sometimes because we're busy about working, making money, putting a roof over their head, and them having latest fashion. But they don't even care about the fashion. They don't even care about having whatever because something else is going on internally. And if you don't get to the bottom of it, all I'm gonna say, children with PTSD grow up to be adults with PTSD. Childhood trauma, if it's not dealt with, taken care of, grow right on up to be adult. And a lot of times we have childhood trauma that we pass on to our kids. We have a PTSD that we pass on to our children. And so, nope. Like you said, Rodney, all we could do is the best that we think we do. Sometimes not even knowing that we giving our own children certain types of traumas and issues and stuff to deal with. I think everybody needs a therapist. Everybody would be like, "Oh, I'm good. I'm good."
Everybody needs a little bit.
A therapist and a psychiatrist are two different things. A therapist is just somebody that you can talk to that don't prescribe you any drugs, that can help you unpack your situation or help you see things on a different level or give you a different perspective. Now, the psychiatrist, they're going to give you drugs. When you go to the psychiatrist, that's the first thing that he going to say to you. I used to hate going to a psychiatrist because he never would try to help me unpack what's going on. He just want to write me drugs. And I was like, man, did you not listen to what I'm saying? I don't need nothing that's going to make me feel like this. I don't need it. They tried to give me Zoloft one time.
Well, I think a therapist. I don't know if y'all can hear me or not because I got on cheap earphones still. But I think a therapist is supposed to give you an unbiased opinion. I think that's how they're supposed to be beneficial. I wouldn't. When I went through like therapy, and I thought that was the adult thing to do. So you got a therapist, you got something wrong. You don't feel like you can really get it out, and that's what I needed personally was an unbiased opinion. Um, when I realized that person at the end of the day is just another human being, it took away the power of what I thought a therapist was supposed to be for me, and blah blah blah. Because they're not supposed to work out your problems for you. They're really supposed to give you unbiased responses, like things that they would recommend. That's kind of streamlined instead of swaying you in a direction. They don't want to push you in one direction, or they're just kind of open ear for you. So like an open ear, unbiased opinion is what they're supposed to really provide. They're not, and the psychiatrist, that's their job really is to prescribe medicine for what you think you feel like. That's all they do. I wouldn't look at a psychiatrist to do anything else but, try to give you some type of medication. So I would try to stay away from psychiatrists I don't want no medicine. I don't want to take anything. If I'm not gonna go wonkers or whatever without taking something, I'm not gonna take something. I'm good. But yeah, a therapist is an unbiased opinion. I think that's what that's supposed to provide.
And if the therapist think that you too out of whack, then they tell you you might need something. Let me refer you or set you over to the doctor, because the therapist and the psychiatrist work hand in hand, because everything that therapist know about you, he or she has to report to the psychiatrist.
You're right about that, Alan.
And when they think you too off, they be like, let me give you this medication here. And medicine, Western medicine is not the cure all to everything that we're feeling or that we're going through. And they give you that to calm you down, so to sedate you, so you can be back under a trance, so you can be back part of the norm. but the medicine they give you takes you away from you. Because I used to sit there and that wouldn't be me. You wouldn't be yourself. You're not your natural self. You're medicated. You're either a zombie or you sleep somewhere. So no, I didn't.
Hey, Reese, can I read a comment from Phoenix real quick?
Yes, please.
It was about
I can't
therapist.
see nothing.
It was a response. We know, it's fine. I got you, no problem. She was saying a therapist helps you deal with what's going on with you. They are not supposed to give you answers. They hold your hand as you figure them out yourself.
Right.
Like they're just like she was saying, they're just the unbiased opinion, really. They're just supposed to help you guide yourself to whatever the path is supposed to be to get back to what you want to be like. For
Yeah.
real.
It helped me.
Let me see.
It did wonders for me. I mean, seeing a therapist.
But to be honest, says Alan, my bad. I
No,
just
go
want to
ahead.
read some comments real quick. Alan said, but to be honest, that street PTSD helps save our kids. Because street knowledge can help your kids avoid pitfalls like drugs, street politics, selling drugs. Every kid needs a little bit of street knowledge. You ain't got to be from the hood. You ain't got to be from nowhere. But every kid needs to see a little action in the streets, just a little bit. I'm not saying go to it, but I think they need to witness it because you gotta see, you need to see somebody get knocked across the eye to know that you might not need to be in certain environments. Maybe you need to see somebody on the fucking floor off a PCP. And mind you, that shit happens up the street from my house in today's time. I know niggas that's all this stuff we talking about. All of this stuff is happening right up the street. So you ain't gotta be from the neighborhood to see it pop off. But everybody needs that seasoning. I feel like. From being in the streets, I can read rooms. I be knowing when shit's about to pop off. I know when it's time to leave and it's time to go home. My mom nobody ever made me feel ashamed in my family about take your ass home if you get that incline. That shit saves your fucking life too. I'd be like, we gotta go. Shit looking weird and something ain't right, says Alan. Yeah. I ain't gonna read all the comments. My bad, Reese. I ain't gonna read
No,
all of
read
them.
them all. I want you to
Read some. I
catch
don't
them in
want to
your
go through all of
info.
them, but I'm gonna be touching on them. But I don't want to sit here and just be reading every single comment.
But
Because
right,
Molly putting them up on the screen though, so everybody that's in the audience can see. As long as they go up on screen, they're being seen by everybody. So I'm not gonna read everyone. I want to get back to what we was talking about.
okay, because I do want to touch because I know it's a touchy situation, and a lot of people got a lot of impact and good comments because they experience life, and sometimes as parents, we can't hide everything from our children. That's the bad. That's the bad thing to do. We think we sheltering our child from everything. That is a terrible, terrible, terrible bad thing to do because you can't shelter them from the real world. And then when they get out there in the real world and around certain environments, they looking like a victim because they become somebody victim because we shelter them. Oh, well, I'm not going to expose them to this. I'm not going to expose them to that. Oh, don't keep this. That. You can't do that as parents. I know a chick that
I
does
see
that
that.
to her kids. You got to let them kids go.
I see that. Phoenix
Uh,
agrees with Alan saying that. Being able to read the room and know what's going on or know and like an energy shift in the room has definitely saved her life too.
well,
His therapist is the Mary Jane and music. Same here. If I wasn't on the show, I'd be listening to the music with mine. Always trust that
well,
gut feeling.
well, for me, I agree with you, Reese. I believe that your household, you should make your children experience all these things in your house, in the safety of your own house, before they go out in the world. The world is unfair, so it's not fair in my house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to sit here and give my children. I don't give my children. I don't believe in giving your children this comfortable, everything's good all the time, it's going to be okay situation. Nah, I treat it, I want my children to experience everything in the safety of my house. That way, A, I can teach them how to work through it, and B, that when they go out there, it's not going to be their first time dealing with it. Like, when I see things like it's all the time, like, my children say, "Oh, you treat me different." Yeah, I do. You're absolutely right. I 100% do. This world's going to treat you different.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be times I'm dealing with my youngest son right now, because he's just started team sports. So he's been playing what you call team sports, but he's reacting to every call. And I eventually got pissed off, and I made him do 10 push-ups every time he was on the field and he reacted to a call longer than 3 seconds. I made him do 10 push-ups. And he was like, "Why, Dad? Why are you punishing me? You know, why are you doing that?" I said, "Because the world ain't fair. You're going to get calls that are not correct. You know what I'm saying? This, that, and the other." I said, "What are you going to do?" Because the coach had to pull him out the game, and he missed plays because he was so pissed off that the refs weren't calling the calls. You know what I'm saying? And so so he missed plays, and he's the running back. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you let your team down today. You know what I'm saying? Because you was too wrapped up in the joint, and you know, and I said from now on, that's what's going to happen. Because I need you to understand that you got 3 seconds. Once that play happens, you didn't get the call, you got to be on to the next play. Because if you're still wrapped in that other play, and he was like, "Well, I don't think that's fair." I don't care if you think it's fair. You know what I'm saying? You know, this is life. You have to get through it. Like, you don't got, if you're sitting there wrapped up about everything that happens to you today in this second, then you know you're not going to be successful, because things are going to happen. Shit's going to go wrong. A person's going to get the wrong call. Things like that is going to happen. If you can't get past it or get over it, and you're stuck in that moment, then you know, you're gonna be failing. You're failing your team. You're like, he didn't, you know. I was like, "Yo, you didn't realize what you was doing." He was like, "Nah," and I was like, "Yeah, you weren't out there because your ass couldn't get past the play that happened before." You know what I'm saying? And you know, and we had the conversation. He's 11, and you know, and I had to break that down to him. But I mean, everything in life, and just, even with my daughter and stuff like that, like when things happen, you have to break it down and have them experience that in the safety of their own house before you go out there and before they go out there in the world, because nothing in this world, because the world isn't going to be gentle and the world isn't going to give a shit. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So I'd rather you experience everything, racism, what you call it. I spent my oldest son, who's 23 now, from ages 2 to 5, I told him how big his head was every day. Because the motherfucker had a huge ass head. I mean, it looked like he was a goddamn weeble wobble, right?
Phoebe said she agrees with you.
Yeah,
You can never get past the what did it say? My bad. She said, "I agree with Rodney. You'll never survive and thrive in the world when you can't get past the moment." Yeah,
Yep.
I tell my children all the time, things happen. It's just a moment. Deal with it and leave it there. Yeah, I like those type of teaching. I'm all for that type of parenting.
And like what Rodney was saying, I know a child that sheltered their child, and when they went out in the real world, they had a nervous breakdown. Ain't that something? So Rodney, you were saying that you called your son big head every day.
Yeah. So then when he went to school and they was like, "Damn, you got a big ass head," and the kids started making fun of him, he didn't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? He was like, "Man, I heard that every day. This ain't no new shit." And guess what? And as an adult, my son actually said that to me. He actually was like, "Yeah, I remember that, you know, because that you had all, when kids made fun of me, I didn't care, because you know, not to say I made fun of him, but I, you know, just got the jokes out the way. So by the time he heard them in high school, in school, and this, that, and the other, he was like, he was like, "Man, my dad was worse than that. Like, y'all not even funny." You know what I'm saying? My dad been telling me that for 5 years. Y'all, that's the best y'all got.
And that's strong right there, because that's how we grew up. We grew up joining on Island, and we grew up in joining on all the kids were joining. So you're right, Rodney. When we did start school, it was like, all right, you got some Jones to Joan back, because you toughened them up. They talked about my son in his ears, called him Gordon Shumway. So when he got, ain't nothing worse than somebody calling you Alf as the baby. They Joan and talked about him. So when he got older and he heard all the Jones, it was like, yeah, whatever. Everything he heard, and it made him tougher. But I never sheltered him for what's going out there, because I was like, if you think I'm tough, wait till you get out in them streets. And like Rodney said, that's the true statement. We got to sharpen our children from home. It starts from home. I agree with you 100%, Rodney. And when
Yeah,
he went to school, he was sharp, wasn't he? He was ready for it, wasn't he?
didn't care at all. Wasn't even paying attention to it. Kept it moving. You know what I'm saying? And it was it's that you like I said, this I think it was Michelle Obama. Maybe I'll find that clip. I had it on my show where she said that same thing, that with us as parents, it's our job to have them experience the world in the safety of their own house. You know what I'm saying? And that is how, that's how we prep the kids and get them ready for everything. The first time your child experiences unfairness should not be out in the world. The first time your child experiences joning should not be out in the world. The first time your child experiences all these things, even the negative things
You mean and hear
that
the
are going to
word
be out
no?
there.
It
Yeah,
shouldn't be out in the world to hear the word
exactly.
no. They should know how to
Exactly.
understand it and deal with it. And a lot of kids that's
What's up,
when they just
Scott?
throw their tantrum. They don't know how to understand and deal
Yes.
with no.
What's up, Scott?
Hey, Scott, and I tried to also, as a child, I had so many PTSD and so many isms just in my closet. Oh my gosh, and a lot of it, my only child, you gets the brunt of it, and not knowing that was what was poisoning me, I was slowly giving him a little drops of it because I didn't want him to be like me. I thought, and I wanted him to be better. And what I've noticed
Oh
is
Lord.
that when you give your child everything, they turn to ingrates. They become that what's that word that they be using? Entitled. They feel entitled. So I mean, having your child to work for their allowance and give them structures and rules is not a bad thing. Is so I think I did the opposite to mine. I didn't make him strong like I wanted, him to be, like when it came to different stuff. Some things, I know I spoiled them. That's the wrong thing to do. So because they feel entitled and they don't understand the word no sometimes, and then that's when you have to break that before they go out in the real world. Because the real world tell you no all the time. They don't recognize
What's the
or love you, or they don't love or they don't care for you like your parents do. So
what's the definition of like getting spoiled? I always wondered that
not
because
have to work or do nothing, get a reward for bad behavior, not have to work or do nothing for nothing. You got
who
every
would get what parent would do that anyway? Like when you do something bad, give you a good thing,
No, there's
give you
parents out there.
a reward.
There's definitely parents out there
Uh,
that well, there's parents that don't know better or that's the way they grew up. You got to remember that we're all products of how we grew up, and we're all doing things that some people don't see nothing wrong with it. Like I've met parents and things like that their philosophy is that they're going to give their kids everything they didn't have. And that's why the son comes up with, they got the new Jordans on, they got the new what you call this on. It don't matter what their grades are, they're going to be fly to death every time they walk out the
okay.
what you call it. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter. Like, there has to be some sense of, in my opinion, there has to be some sense of, you have to earn this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to earn this. Like, I'm not going to sit here and like in my house, my agreement was with my kids, your job is school.
Yeah.
As long as you go to school and you get the
You said
grades,
that,
I'm gonna give
Molly,
you the
already.
things you want. Huh?
No. I was saying something to Molly. My bad.
Oh, he looked it up. All right, here we go. You want to go ahead, Trey? You want to read that, or you want me to read
Yeah,
it?
that's fine.
I had to make it
That's fine.
larger.
That's all good. It says it's spoiled child, in quotation, is a child who is excessively indulged and pampered, often to the point of becoming self-centered, entitled, and immature. They may exhibit behaviors like demanding constant attention, throwing tantrums when they don't get their way, and struggling with sharing or patience. These behaviors are typically a result of parents or caregivers not setting clear boundaries or limits for this. Okay, well, I guess I'm not that Never mind.
Oh,
I'm not my name. Never mind.
Trey, somebody told you was spoiled all your life or something? You wanna
No,
unpack some
no,
PTSD?
actually, no, not PTSD, but I respond to it. I think that what, for instance, what my grandmother was able to do for me because of having more money in my era, I think that like there's a little envy and jealousy because of her financial ability when I got to be a certain age versus when her kids were a certain age. So it's little things that I be hearing, but yeah, I think it's a little jealousy and envy because the ability wasn't there um, for them like it was for me. So that's what I think it is. But
Okay.
not a
Nah, I got
PTSD,
you.
but that's what I think it is. Yeah. But I asked a question from the like parents because um, I would hear little things like that, but then I wonder what that means because I'm not none of those things that it says on as far as a definition. Like I've never demanded. I've gotten everything actually because I didn't ask for shit. I was more focused on mending my family as a kid versus what type of. I didn't care that they were Jordans or LeBrons. I like the colors. I might like the way this looks or whatever. I might, but I'm not. I didn't care to ask for it. I got a bunch of shit because it was I got a bunch of shit because it was used to kind of like or put a blanket over my eyes as a kid over like things a kid is not really supposed to know or pay attention to. It was kind of like here's some nice shit. So I didn't really, that's why I wonder what spoiled means because I didn't have the same, I guess, mentality around objects. So that's what made me ask the parents. You want to know that from y'all, what spoiled means. I mean,
Yeah, I
yeah, I should.
mean, just because you can give your child everything don't mean you should, in my opinion.
Amen. Amen.
So,
Don't be.
Well, I'm not. I don't know.
you don't know what. Go ahead. I'm waiting.
No. I'm saying I'm
I
not.
wasn't comparing this
I
to
don't know.
you
I
at
don't know
all. I
what.
was making a statement. I was just making
Oh,
a statement. I
okay.
wasn't comparing it to
Oh,
what you were saying at
oh,
all. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going back to the spoiled thing. That, in my opinion, just because you can give your child everything, don't mean you should.
Right.
There has to be, in my opinion, there should be a sense of earning. Like, when my son wants something as he got older, when he was a child and you're 5 and this, that, and the other, of course, I got him things that I wanted to get him. But even now, like for instance, my son took his Nintendo Switch to school and he lost it. And the Nintendo Switch is not cheap, especially when you got all these games with it and all that kind of stuff like that. And there's parents that just would have been like, "Oh, okay," and go out and buy him another one. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I was like, "Nah, dog, you got to pay me for that one you lost." You know what I'm saying?
not
Like
like no responsibility.
you're gonna have
Yeah,
to, yeah. Like, hey, this,
that's
it just
crazy.
don't
Man.
come. You decided because he wasn't supposed to take it to school. He knew what he did wrong. He came out and told us, of course. Once he lost it, but it's still a punishment. Now, don't get me wrong. The next day he went to school, and we called the principal, not the school, but the school. We called the school, the principal, and this, that, and the other, and they made an announcement, and the kid turned it in. A kid turned it in.
Some probably swiped it.
Huh? No, he left it. You can't swipe something that was left. So let's get that straight. Okay, he left it.
You
So
can only
therefore,
find it.
yes, you can only find what was left. So anyway, the kids turned it in. The kid turned it in or whatever. He got it back. But you still think I'm not going to make him pay for that? Absolutely. He's still going to pay for that Switch because now you got to learn that you can't take stuff and just lose it and think it's okay, and just because you found it you think that's over. No, it's not at all. Your punishment is still the same. You're still going to pay for a Switch, and you're still going to do the work and to so that you understand how hard your father and your mother worked to give you that Switch, to provide it, and to do these things.
So how long did you hold it? Because I know you didn't give it right back to him.
What, the Switch?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't have it right now. His mom has it. I have no idea when but no, he's got he's going to help me rebuild this thing in the backyard. So we're working on that. Yeah, that's going to be him paying for it because, he's going to be out there doing manual labor with me and what's it called, and Reed getting this thing so that he can get it back. Yeah.
It's consequences and repercussion, people. Consequences and repercussions. A lot of
Did
times,
the kid get an
parents
award
try
for
to
turning it in?
I don't think so. Yeah, he got a thank
Okay.
you probably. I don't know. I don't know what happened as far as him trying. Because once he lost it, I didn't care about the kid turning it in and bringing it back. That was my wife. She did that part. She got it back. I don't know what happened in that instant.
Oh, okay.
He's going to earn it. He's going to earn and pay for it no matter what in my book. So I didn't even get into my
It would
wife
be
got
nice.
it, so I have no idea. But
It
those
would
the
be nice to see
consequences.
administrators do stuff like that, though. Like, and there's always a flip side to everything. So, like, just like somebody lost something, all right, do something nice because the kid thought that instead of pocketing that motherfucker, because it was me, I probably wouldn't have wanted one. But if I wanted one, I would have slipped that motherfucker in my pocket. If I just found some shit, if I just happened to find it, I just feel like, you know. So, yeah, I feel like you
yeah,
should do something for the kids, to let them
You
know
can't
that that
do
matters out here. That returning some shit actually matters. I just
yeah. But to be honest, they would have found out who the kid was that took it anyway, because they got cameras every goddamn way. So in that
for
lunchroom,
real.
there's 100% a camera that they could have just looked at and saw who it was, and I'm sure they could have just said on the announcements, hey, turn it
Yeah,
in.
you right.
We're
It's
getting
not
ready to
back
look
in
at the camera, whatever, this, that, and the other.
the right.
Nowadays it ain't
It's
like
not
our
back in the
days in
day.
school where you can get away with that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
now,
Who
there's a
in the school
goddamn
stole her?
there's a
Nah.
goddamn camera everywhere you go
Yeah.
now. So,
It was little Timmy like shit.
and
yeah,
what
like
you
a
gonna
mother.
do. But back
Right.
to what this the main focus is consequences and repercussions to everything we do. We got to show our children that there's consequences and repercussions because we do go through that as adults. If they think they're never going to get in trouble or they think that their life is easy, because a lot of parents try to be their children's friend and be like, "Mom, just give me the switchback. Okay, here, take the switchback," and nothing happens, and they can do stuff over and over again. That's sheltering your kid from the reality of the real world, and that's spoiling them for the real world. You spoiling their life because when they go out in the real world and it's not playing fair, or it's not treating them fair, what are they going to do? What is it's not you saying no, it's the world saying no. What are they going to do? Like I said, I know a young person that was sheltered all their life, and when they went out in the real world, they went away to school, they had a nervous breakdown. First of all, and had to come home because they're not used to dealing. They had a very cushiony, sheltered life.
Can you give a detail? Because you mentioned them twice and you didn't say
And
nothing about
everything. And
Can you
they
give
were
us
spoiled.
detail?
Huh?
Can you give us detail? Because you mentioned them twice and you didn't say nothing about them. So.
Oh, about being spoiled. Like the child has everything, never wanted to ask for nothing. And even when they exhibit bad behavior, they still got treated. The victory of their spoils, it was never no, I can't, no. It was never no boundary set. So when they went off to school or went out there in the real world away from the family that where it was all safe at, you come different people experiencing different people in different situations. And they had a nervous break. It was like an overload. It was too much. They had a nervous breakdown. People not like you see on TV or in the movies. And we have a clip we want to share. You got to tell your child what's real and what's not real. Molly, you got the clip of what you showed me yesterday. We'll pull that up. And a lot of children need to know what's real and what's not real. When they watch so much stuff on YouTube.
And Molly, you might want to change your mic because when you come on, you got an echo. You might got the background going on.
Is it echoing for all of y'all or just Beast?
No, I hear it too.
Okay, then it's the speaker. I'm about to move the speaker.
Oh, you don't have no echo now?
Nah, it's when we talk, not when he talks.
Yeah, not when he talks. It's off of us. It's output. It's audio output somewhere around picking up the show.
Yeah, he might need to turn on the cut off the background joint on his mic
to isolate it a little bit more.
But it's all good. So we waiting on the video now?
Yeah.
It's a good one, and I'm still explaining.
Oh,
I like how much dialogue happened before the first video. I say that because I was there all in the conversation with what y'all was saying and Rodney was talking about in the comments. I do like that. We, you know, it was rolling before we started watching.
my daughter's down here. She listening to the conversation now, I guess.
And I said, "What's up?
So
Congratulations."
she can judge her father like she normally does.
And it's important that we. Yes, congratulations.
I don't want to come on camera because her hair not done.
Look, she hear her name, Trinity.
That's right.
Your dad gush about you, girl. He gush. Oh, but at a young age, at what age do we tell our children fiction from nonfiction so they don't get caught up and get PTSD? Check this video out.
This is Trinity when she watched this movie. So Trinity went and saw this movie. This was her at 18. Hold on, here you go. You got it. Can't hear you.
In my defense, the movie is really sad, even though I've seen it over and over again. I love that movie.
But it's the emotion and stuff in the movie. It's not your age.
Because Stitch died or whatever.
But it's how good everybody's emotion is around it. And that should be green screen. They have a little box that's green screen and make it, they all be staring in that sky and nothing's there. It's their emotion and everything that probably make you. I ain't about to sit there and cry over no Lilo and Stitch shit. But at the same time, I get why, I get it. It's real emotional. Lilo and Stitch did not used to be like that for us.
It's the new Lilo and Stitch. It makes it seem, real because they got real people instead of being cartoon people. And the little girl thought the character, died. She was having a fit. So you got to tell your children between fiction and nonfiction. Let them know that this is for entertainment. This is not real life. Real life and fiction, because you can't let them be under the assumption or under that umbrella that this is the world.
I'm tired of you, David.
We live in Grand Rising, David.
They said the comments was the funniest. They was like, please don't let this little girl go see Lion King. Like they just kept in movies that were sad, man. Then when they put up there on Hardball, I thought about it. I cried when G Baby died. Like I was hurt. Like I was mad.
I know. I did.
Come back like Stitch. He died and stayed dead. I was like, what the fuck did they? I was like,
what was he in the was he outside or in the hallway or something? I just know he was up against.
They was walking into the building and dudes was running, chasing, shooting at each other, and he got hit by a stray bullet. Yeah. You had a movie, Beast?
Yeah, nah. There was a clip of a dude who's an adult now, who found out that his parents always skip the first 30 seconds or 2 minutes of Finding Nemo when the mother died. Oh. And they didn't see it until they became an adult and was fucked up. He was always fucked up when he saw it. I was laughing. It was like, what? Nobody told me this. He was all the way fucked up.
That was you, Bees?
Nah, that wasn't me. But I mean, that guy had me crying when he said that shit. He was like, "Did anybody else parents skip the first 2 minutes of Finding Nemo all your life?"
Yeah, he never watched it nowhere else but home. Ain't nobody else.
I mean, when the hell else would you watch Finding Nemo from the beginning? Now he's an adult. You know what I'm saying?
They said she not going to survive set it off. Man, they going in the comments, but
so,
my daughter says she still cries on Frozen when she watches that.
Oh
and
my
Tangled. So, but my daughter cry on every goddamn thing.
Yeah, that's
So
how
I
my
don't even pay no attention to it now. Now I
Later,
already know it's about to happen. I just wait
Into my
and just
defense.
But as children, we giving our kids that little girl will give it. You see how she was reacting? That was it made me want to cry to watch her cry. And she really thought that, are we torturing our kids, or we need to let our children know that this is just entertainment. It's not real life, so they don't fall out like that. I mean, we could sit and cry in silence like, oh, it's a sad
she knows
thing.
my daughter's 18. She know it ain't real. Her ass still cry.
But she's not
Reese,
yelling at the screen.
That's some good acting right there, man.
Reese,
good.
I'm talking about full snot, Reese. I'm talking about we went and saw what movie did we go see? Nah, the one it wasn't Black Panther, it was something else. We went and saw something, and I'm talking about snot coming down her nose. I was like, yo, like, you do understand you are a grown woman, right? But her mother ain't no better either.
Your mother the same way, yeah. My mother the same way.
Yeah, her mother, Vicky the same goddamn way, cry over the dumbest shit.
Watching the
she was crying too. They was crying together on Lilo and Snitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, some people you just can't help them. Just let them go ahead and you got to let them process their emotion. That's how they process their emotions. Like people like me. We were told never to cry and this, that, and the other. Some people that's how they process it. Like my wife cries. She cries when she's happy. She cries when she's sad. She was just praising the Lord like an hour ago and was snotting all over the place.
But she know it's real.
Viola Davis crying ass.
She know what's real and what's not real.
And shit all over her face.
Girl didn't know that wasn't real.
Oh, here comes Vicky.
We gotta tell our children, this is just a movie. This is real and this was not real. Like that little boy watching wrestling. He think of wrestling real. He did the DDT on his sister and killed his sister. He did.
She was just hey, baby. Now my wife is joining in. I got her. Come on, you got to speak on the mic.
Miss Vicky.
Hey, Vicky.
What's up? Hey, how you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
What's up?
Now, I was telling your husband that we got to teach our children what's real and what's not real. Of course, they're going to cry and get emotional in certain movies because we do as adults, but we still know what's real and what's not real. And that's the trauma. Thinking something that in TV land or cartoon land is real.
I do agree with that because I think sometimes that they get it twisted because they're living in they're always on the games and they're always in this bubble, right? And so when somebody gets shot in real life, they're like, oh, they can get back up. No, they cannot. You only have one life. But in the games, you just, click a button and you got life again. And that is not reality. But I do cry. I cry a lot. But it's releasing. It's releasing pent up, emotions, or it could be sadness and whatever the case may be. I like to cry, and it's okay to cry. It's the way I process my feelings: happy, sad, indifferent.
You feel so clear after, so elevated and like cleansed, everything gone, whatever was bothering you.
Yes, it cleans your soul.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I seen that movie the other day. My daughter's mom invited me to go with her girlfriend and my daughter. And
take your time.
And that scene that scene was kind of sad because it was crazy because he was crazy.
He cried. That nigga cried, man. Come on.
No.
Oh,
yeah, he cried.
No, I haven't cried since I was 13. But
He remembered.
I
He
looked.
gonna tell us that, but go
That's
ahead,
the
David.
problem.
I,
You
I,
gotta
I,
press
I
on
looked, I
the
looked, I
people.
looked around and see my daughter was about to cry or whatever, and I was teasing her. I was like, "Are you crying? You crying?" And she was like, "No, almost did." But yeah, that I mean, it was a sad scene. Like I said, he was created to be like a destructor, and not this is this, not to have emotions and you know, what I mean, he was
You're about to
causing
cry explaining it to us.
whatever planet whatever planet they was at or whatever. No, he was causing, you know, he was a mess. And so he got sent down,
And then
he
was
got
like,
sent down to earth. He got sent down to earth.
and then Lilo was like, "You're not bad. You just make bad decisions." And I was
Yes, yep.
Oh,
Yep.
that
Oh,
is
yes.
He
Yep.
was abandoned.
He
He didn't have
said,
a family.
he said, that's what he
He's
said.
not real.
Oh my God.
Family.
But you have to look beyond. You have to look beyond that.
I want to make a point
You
that
gotta-
they didn't tell me Santa wasn't real until I was 16. And when they told me, I cried because
Killed
they would
Santa.
get on the roof and act like Santa. So just want to make that point.
B,
She had some PTSD about Santa.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
I lied to the girl till she
Yeah,
was
crushed
16.
I didn't lie to her. Her mother
At
lied
least
to
you
her.
got 16 years out of Christmas.
I was trying to preserve her innocence and her imagination, her imagination.
Yeah.
I think
you was
because
gonna get her teased when she get to school, and everybody be like, "Girl, you crazy? Ain't no Santa Claus." And
I
she's
would
16 and
argue.
said there is.
I would go back for
I
a Santa.
know.
I would argue. I would.
That Goose daughter right there. She gonna win her case.
Did
I
it
love
keep-
to see.
did you
yeah,
have
I
a
have
black
to
Santa?
agree. I have to
Did
agree.
you-
We prolonged it for a little
And
bit too
then-
longer.
And then I wrote letters to the Tooth Fairy. They
Really?
made me write letters to the
That
Tooth Fairy.
Tooth
I
Fairy.
just wanted to be a
Wow.
mermaid. That's it.
but
That Tooth
So
Fairy
y'all,
do.
but y'all
thing.
laugh at the letters and stuff. What did y'all do with the stuff? Because you know how you like lay out some cookies,
Yeah,
put out a
keep them.
glass of milk. Did y'all like geek about it? Did y'all like was the
Nah,
shit
dog.
hilarious?
Look,
to y'all?
hold on.
No. They would put glitter on the ceiling, on the little ceiling of the window. They would put glitter on my bed. They one time when they flashed the light in my
that's
eyes,
nice,
I thought I saw the
though.
Tooth Fairy. I went to bat for that Tooth Fairy. That Tooth Fairy hurt.
Oh.
I saw the Tooth Fairy. And then I wrote notes about becoming a mermaid because I wanted to become a mermaid. And then the note, the Tooth Fairy was like, "You can be yourself." No, I wanted to be a puppy. You should have turned me into a
I don't
mermaid.
want to be myself. I don't want to be myself. That's not what this letter's
Vicky,
for.
Wow.
y'all overdid it. Look, I was overboard doing it.
They on the new level.
Hey, yo. So one Christmas, I put flour on my shoes and walked them through the house like it was snow coming from Santa Claus and coming out down from the chimney.
That's so dope. That's so dope.
And the Tooth Fairy giant. What the hell did I do? Like I took a picture of the I got some picture off the internet of like a fairy. And like it wrote her like a text message or some shit. I don't know. It was like a whole. It was like a
that's
whole
dope.
thing.
Though. I would love to do something like that for.
Yeah, we had did. Yeah, you know, it was my baby. I thought I was doing good. Turns out I was doing bad. That's another thing. You know, I didn't get.
Is that when my little brother had lost a tooth, I still wrote to my little brother lost a tooth, and then I still believed that the Tooth Fairy was real. So I took my little brother's tooth and wrote a note to the Tooth Fairy, thinking it was still real. Turns out it wasn't.
He's trying to help your brother out.
Y'all let the kids live in fairy tale land for real. Candy canes and gingerbread
I love
houses
that,
and
though.
all that.
They're going through the
I told her when she was 12 that the fat nigga didn't exist, and she didn't want to believe me. So I don't care what you say, because I remember she was riding her bike saying, "Thank you, Santa." I told her that day. I was like, that nigga don't exist.
You gotta cut this shit
But
out.
she still wanted to believe it even when I told her. We did such a good job when I told her the truth. She didn't want to believe me either. So,
Yeah.
you know. Maybe it was my
I don't know.
fault.
I
Maybe
think
it
that's
wasn't. I don't know.
She gonna say, why
I
would
think
you
that's
lie all
right,
these
though.
years then, Daddy? Why would my daddy lie to me? Daddy, you
Huh?
stop lying, Daddy. You know, because all these years you and Mama did this. You and Mama, Daddy, why you lying, Daddy?
She's
That's
got
what-
therapy, LA. Thank you very much, sir. We got her in therapy and she's working through it now. Sorry.
Now she knows she can't be a mermaid. It's cool.
Debo took
Vicky
red
wanted to
shade.
preserve the innocence. I argued for many Christmases about telling them the truth, and so
So what about
Yeah.
if you
I
didn't
did
tell
get
them
on the roof
truth
one time
about
too.
stuff like that? What about the tough stuff in life? If they
What's
believe in that there's still imaginary creatures and everything, how did you explain to them life, real life, when they go out in the streets?
We just came with it. We had to, let's sit down, let's have a conversation about this. This is how it goes. Life is not going to be easy. Life is not, it is not a fairy tale. But we have to train you for life in our household. I used to tell my son, my oldest son, like your family and home is a training ground for the world. You need to be trained at home before you can go and enter into the world. Need to learn how to handle different situations and maneuver, at home before you are able to maneuver in life. And so when life hit them, Trinity, RJ, when life hit them, we had to really kind of say, hey, this is where you are. This is how you need to maneuver, and then ask them, what is there something that you could have done better in this situation to prevent this outcome? And if there isn't, then hey, listen, you did your best in this situation. If there's something that you could have done better, then next time this situation arrives or occurs, then you need to maneuver in that direction. But as long as you learn a lesson, you have not lost. You have actually won. So
Good answer. Solid ass answer.
All right, can I go back to my show now?
Look,
Well, thank you.
Trinity said, I'm
Thank you
gonna
for
knock
y'all
the tooth out
time,
so
both
you
of y'all.
can get a visit from the tooth fairy.
Either
That's
way.
so cute. The kids be like, I ain't no tooth fairy. She's like, yes, it is. Let me knock your tooth out. I'm gonna show you.
I just wanted to remind y'all about Mondays at Tucker Road. I did my first one this past Monday. It was amazing. I'm also at Watkins Park in the mornings at 8:30 a.m. Doing yoga and meditation. I brought my sound bowl out there. They had an amazing time. I connected with some first time yoga people, and they were like, I really connected with you. The way that you do your flow. Just want to put it out. If you want to try it, if you like, I don't know, I can't do it, bring your chair. We can get it going. Okay. I'll be easy on you.
Yeah, don't
And she's
believe
talking
it.
about yoga, LA, nothing else. So don't put nothing in the comments. And you too, David. She's not inviting you, sir. You're not allowed to come.
Gotta add her to that.
David can't come. Why David can't come?
I don't trust
And no
David.
white girl's gonna be out there.
Ain't no white girl. Nah, not at Tucker Road. Ain't no white girls. You said they white. Vicky said there's white girls out there, David.
Oh shit. Sign them up.
Come on,
David likes to
David.
kidnap white girls, baby. Yeah,
That's a lie.
he's got
Tell him it's the lie from the pit of hell.
him.
That's a
Him and
lie.
Choutbow got a few white girls in their dungeon.
Yeah. Right now I'm doing a
Hey,
little
that's
coin
a lie about
club.
that. When you mention Chout, David, you better speak up and say, no, that's still a lie. David didn't say nothing. Him and Chout might got some bodies on the floor.
Bodies on the floor.
David Green. Are you gonna tell your grandbaby that Santa Claus exists?
State Farm is there.
How
Oh
old was you?
hell, no.
She cried with John Cena turned bad.
John Cena.
Want to pay that? Hell yeah, $5. Pay that shit up.
Oh, that is so cute for all the little fairy tale creatures. I found out when I was like 5 that he wasn't real because I found the toys. So we knew he wasn't real. And and I don't know why we even, thought that was like, you got to go to bed so Santa Claus can come. Like, Santa Claus ain't coming. Y'all gotta put the toys together first. So
Shit, I believed in Santa so much. Man, I used to look forward to it. Bake the cookies. Like, man, he got to make sure he got the best cookie. If one of them was burnt, throw it away. You ain't gonna fuck my toys up. If he get a burnt cookie, yeah. So we used to really go through. My mother had us putting the lights up from every window, climb the roof. My mother used to love Christmas. Then they used to dress up like Santa, one of my dad's friends that we didn't really know. And we used to throw Santa fuck with us. Like, cause we say, how he get in here? Cause we ain't got no chimney. They like,
you had a black Santa.
Oh, no,
nah, he was light skinned. He's like beast complexion and shit. He was red, but it was funny because some of my nephews was scared of Santa. He'd walk in there, ho ho. Them niggas like, oh shit. They had run away, scared. I'm like, he had gifts. He'd give us little early toys and like presents to open up before Christmas. And he say, and when I come back, y'all better be asleep. I ain't leaving nothing on that tree. We like, shit, I'm going to bed right now. You know, yeah, we try to go to sleep early, you know. So we used to be on it heavy. But when we found out it was late and I had to use the bathroom, I heard my mother and them down there like just jamming to some music and stuff. I'm like, man, I peeped down and they wrapping gifts. My mother said, oh, cool, come on down here. And she told me, say, it's over for you. This your last Christmas. I was like 13. I had to help wrap the gifts, all that. I had to do what the adults do now, you know, so it wasn't no more just sit back.
For you.
Yeah. I would start telling them that I like, no Santa ain't real. They ain't believe me. I ain't want to be the only one. Like, nah, Christmas over for everybody then. Shit, everybody.
That's what's up, Marley.
Yeah, clean this shit up.
They ain't believe me anyway. They're like, boy, they he trying to trick us.
LA Josh said, funny man Green watched White Chicks and cried.
You gonna tell me?
Yeah, what do you mean? White chicks are black dudes? What?
He was Terry Crews on that joint.
Oh yeah, he was like, you mean to tell me that you not? Yes, I'm not a woman. No, you're not white.
He said, you're not white? You deceive me, brother. Making my way downtown, walking. That's the only way I know that song. Making a way.
What do you say? Once you go black, you're gonna need a wheelchair.
Wheelchair.
David Green.
Hey Terry. Worst part is you fall asleep and then you watch the whole
Crazy.
Yeah.
No, his name was it Lonzo? What was his name? It was Lonzo, wasn't it? It was
Alonzo or something. Yeah.
It was Alonzo something.
Terry.
Latrell, no.
Latrell Freewell.
Yeah.
It was Latrell.
Yeah. Some Freewell.
I'm the highest score forward in the
day. That shit was fun. I'm gonna get this last one. This one. I don't know if y'all ever heard of what's her name? Miss something. She be having the kids like dressed all up and they be dancing and stuff.
Oh, that's what's up.
Miss Cleo?
Nah, her name Miss Shirley Moms or something. She got like a little. Ain't even like a dance team. And she just be having these kids like dressed up and they be going to events doing little TikTok dances. But somebody called CPS on her. I'm gonna share a clip. And
why they call CPS on her?
I mean, some people agree that he did right. Some people say he shouldn't have did it. That's why I'm gonna share. They got a clip of him saying why he called it. And then it's a clip of Miss Shirley like pissed off and like, what the fuck is you doing?
Oh, that little girl? You talking about that?
Yeah, the little girl that be doing the fan joint.
Oh, that's a baby. She just
show it so we can see it. I want to see it. I don't know what y'all talking about. You pulling it up?
Big. You pulling it up.
There you go. It's been so long since Reese made it big. She don't even know how to do it no more.
Make it big.
Make it clap.
Oh, the little girl, little Shirley. Okay, I know what you're talking about now.
Who called CPS on Miss Shirley mama? Guilty. I didn't know her mama was gonna get on live crashing out afterwards. And quite frankly, I don't give a damn. On my mama, I ain't never had this many people mad at me at one time in my life. I'm not even gonna lie. I was already scared for the little girl while she was doing boots on the ground, goddammit. But then I saw that little Johnny Gill put on your red dress and your high heel videos, and nah, man, I picked up my phone immediately. It's one thing about us talking about this shit every day, but I feel like somebody had to take action. I mean, it ain't really that bad either. If CPS find out it ain't no case, they gonna drop the case. But if they find that it is a case, then maybe I did do the right thing. One day, Miss Shirley gonna find this video and she gonna thank me one day. She had that little girl putting her boots on the ground, goddamn, and I put my foot down. And don't judge me either, man. I was just looking out. Shit, if anything were to happen to that little girl and all of us grown-ups was just sitting there watching and didn't say shit, goddamn it. I see everybody asking $1 million question. Who called CPS on Miss Shirley mama?
For a miserable mother to call DHS on me about my child that's well taken care of. Y'all are sick. I'm a mama before anything. I'm sick of you low life trying to discredit me as a mother. And to anybody, any elder that's on here, I apologize for my cursing. I apologize if you feel I'm being disrespectful, but I am tired. I'm tired. Y'all must really sat up there. I actually got a call from the police station today for me to come up to the police station because a miserable called DHS and told DHS and the police station all about the time I got a OnlyFans. It's a mother fan page. It's not no OnlyFans. Y'all take this shit that y'all see on social media and run with it. Y'all for a miserable mother to call DHS. Y'all are sick. I had to go to the police station today. They did an investigation asking me about the OnlyFans. Where people picking her up. Where do she only get booked at adult events? Y'all literally got a video going around talking about she only get booked at adult events, but kids in the background. Make it make sense to me. She got her OnlyFans. If you go to Miss Shirley Dance Universe, in parentheses, it had fans only. It's for her fans only. Not no fuck. What the look like? Put my baby on OnlyFans. I'm not even on there. What sense do that make? Make it make sense. Y'all so damn slow and damn. Y'all take anything y'all see on social media and run with it. Y'all are.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
Thank you. Oh, you gonna show us how to line dance? Yeah. All right.
Come on, Miss Shirley.
Miss Shirley, how did you get that name?
Because.
Because what? Is her name Shirley?
Nah, her mother called her Miss Shirley one day because she was being real sassy, and it just caught on. One day because she was like, she was saying something in the backseat of the car. She was like, "Okay, Miss Shirley," saying that like that, being smart, so she gave her that nickname. But that wasn't yeah. You know what? And I'll be honest with you, I'm saddened by this because this young girl's getting the opportunity, getting her name out there, doing something good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with her line dancing and doing where the fans at and catching a popular trend and this, that, and the other. And that money could probably be going to a college scholarship, stuff like that, this, that, and the other. There's plenty of kids that are out here being really exploited. and really getting, mistreated and things like that. And I'm not to say that I know a lot about Miss Shirley or this whole thing. I don't know a lot, but from what I've seen, I clearly don't think that there's anything negative going. If my daughter got popularity from doing a line dance or something like that, I would definitely I would promote her and help her and start my own fan page, all the stuff that her mom is doing and putting her out there. She's getting once in a lifetime opportunities that she'll remember forever, man. There's no way I wouldn't would take that away just because somebody wants to hate. I'm saddened at the fact that we as a people and this dude even coming out here saying he did that, to me is just somebody who's hating, and is trying to use that for their own popularity, to get their name out there, to get themselves in the highlight. He's a grown ass man that looked like he got beat up anyway. So I mean, I don't know what the hell that was about. I'm disheartened by it all, for real, because like I said, there's actual kids being exploited in a negative way. And you're going to take a parent that's trying to do a good thing for their child and put them and get them exposed to things that's once in a lifetime opportunities, to be on Jennifer Hudson's show, to meet Niecy Nash and all that kind of stuff, and blah, blah, blah. And then, try to take it and make it into something negative that, to me, that's sad. That's just sad. So that's all I got to say.
What's your thoughts on it, Funny Man?
I mean, I kind of agree with LA. I think he was in the DMs trying to holler at the mom, and she turned him down. So then he's, trying to start this mess or whatever. Because, and to piggyback on what B said, I mean, you see the junk on like Disney, the Nickelodeon, all that, and all, where kids really are exploited and being taken advantage of and stuff and all. And he's going to sit there and act like a sissy and stuff and all on this junk. It's just crazy.
Trey, what's your thoughts? Oh, I'm sorry, Dave. Was you finished?
Oh no, I was just saying my opinion. I didn't see nothing wrong with where the fans at. It's not like she was like twerking and humping and stuff and all. She was just doing a dance.
Yeah.
Trey.
Huh?
Did you have a comment on it, Trey?
On the video?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. No comment. Reese?
Well, my thoughts is this, right? He probably wasn't even the one that called CPS on the little girl, for real. And I've seen more explicit stuff when they do the dance troops, like the dancing dolls, when they got stuff like that going around with these little dance troops and stuff. And then if you think back, look at Shirley Temple. Now that little girl, didn't nobody see nothing wrong with that? That little girl with the little cute on the good ship lollipop dancing and everything, and she was dancing and she was showing more leg than Miss Shirley was. She was showing the back of her little dress and everything, and she was dancing. But nobody ever said nothing. The children always been on the forefront of if they could, like little Sammy Davis, all these little kids coming up, if they could come up and do it, kudos for them. I think he was saying, I'm playing devil advocate now, because she had put on that red dress and it was an adult song, sort of, and she had him dressed up as an adult. She was just a little cute little doll baby. And the moment, like you said, if they doing that for entertainment, I've seen worse. And I've seen it where it didn't even look like no exploitation was going on and the child was getting molested and abused behind the scenes, for real. Yep. Stop giving the police fake fires or the firemen to put out fake fires so they could concentrate on the real fires. That was a waste of time, energy, and money and resources. You know, and like she said, that her daughter is well taken care of because her daughter's making money. Yes, she's gonna be well taken care of. That's the breadwinner for the family. Look at Lil Webster. He was the breadwinner for his family. Arnold, what you talking about, Willis? These was breadwinners, so hell yeah, they're gonna be well taken care of.
She went way back to Shirley Temple. I think she messed up only because she put fans, only fans or something. You know, so she should have put fan page. You know, but that's just her being older, not knowing that OnlyFans means something else to other people mind. So he's saying a little kid.
Fans only. It's fans only up there, and not only
Not
fans.
just sure.
Fans only.
I was short, so I ain't got to go back and forth with. I think that's
what you were saying. That's what the lady said.
Nah,
I can't see it, but I'm going by what she was saying.
Yeah, that shit. Nah, I wouldn't say it if I'm just going off. But she accidentally put inside of her post. I'm gonna post it up there, so I don't know if you want to see it.
I can't see it.
You can find a way. Well, that's what she actually put. She actually put OnlyFans page. Miss Shirley's Dance Universe. OnlyFans page. That's what she put on there by accident. I think she don't know in the other world OnlyFans means something else. You know, so it's just like if she'd just put fan page, he looked over, and I think he didn't do no research. I think once he seen OnlyFans, he just assumed, start thinking other shit, instead of really looking into the videos. The first two videos was the most recent ones, but she got plenty of videos when she dancing at parties with kids, and that's how she got recognized. She was at the party, and she was one of the kids that was really doing the dance. But now she been getting paid to come to, your girl show and a couple of other events that adults was throwing, but other kids are there as well. It ain't just an all adult event. But I think he didn't look into it. He just looked at her page, and soon he seen OnlyFans page, he assumed the worst and just called CPS or whoever they call DPS.
That's if even the real person that did it, he just came out said it was them, just like Rodney said, so he can get some attention. There's good attention and bad attention. And he could have been the one that just said, we don't even know if he's the real culprit or not. He could have just been dumping the
blame, and he took the blame. So I just want to know how people feel. Was he right? Because there's some people in the comments like, yeah, stop exploiting these kids. Y'all keep using these kids to get clout. Let that little girl be a kid. She should be at the playground, at the movies or something with her friends. But she been getting booked constantly, making the family money probably. But a lot of people is against kids being on social media, getting exploited. But I'm like, if they not, they gonna find a way to be on it anyway. Even if she at the playground, she got her phone, they might post TikToks or something. So I don't know. People got different opinions though.
A lot of people is hypocrites. The same people that say stop watching is the one watching. If y'all think it's bad, y'all the people that make it popular. Just stop looking at it. He looking at all her stuff.
Hey, Dr. Lady J, what's up with you?
But he looking.
Hey, what's
up? Stop looking.
Yeah. I feel that same way. If you're an adult and you watch that and you think that there's something sexual there, then something's wrong with you, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. If you watch that and you're thinking sexual thoughts, then you got your own issues you need to work out, because you know what I'm saying? There's more, there's actual kids being out there exploited, like really exploited. And you just find, to me, he was searching for fandom. He was searching for something to put his name out there. And to me, it's just sad. It's sad. It's sad as a parent, because I'm a parent, my daughter has done theater and stuff like that and blah, blah, blah. And
yes.
You know how hardening, if I, as much as I love my daughter, if somebody ever called DHS or whatever and said I was allegedly doing this, you know how disheartening that would be to me. Like it would fuck me up because, you know, as much as I love my child and love my family and this, that, and the other, for somebody to even accuse you of that is hurtful. You know what I'm saying? And especially, you know, like I said, if I had the opportunity to put my kid to go on Jennifer Hudson's show and meet all these famous people and see this, I'm going to let my kid do it. Like, I'm not going to stop them. You know what I'm saying? And just because I put only in front of fans is not a good enough reason for you to call DHS on.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it was on purpose or not, that is still so minute, and for you to go there, because if I read that, I would have just thought, oh, well, that's interesting. Maybe she should have put it there. You think about it. Yeah, but I'm not going to go as far as to call DHS. You know, there's parents out here that love their kids, that, you know, you do stuff like that, you know, I don't know. If I caught him in the streets, I'd whoop his ass for real. Like, you know, would not feel bad about it at all, because that's you know, it's
like I did.
Okay. We know you, Rodney. I want to say good morning to first good morning to Lady J on the panel, but I also want to say good morning to Sheila Jackson. Hey Sheila, hey Murray, they watching. I'm trying to get Sheila Jackson. She's a comedian from LA. And I'm trying to get Sheila to come sit on the panel with us one day. She's hilarious. I love Sheila. Hey, boo. I call her my auntie. I call her Auntie. So I just want to say hey to Sheila. And she'll be on the show hopefully soon. And hey, Lady J. Just
good morning. Well, no, it's afternoon. It's afternoon. How's everybody doing?
We could.
Oh man, I'm loving the conversation today, and the brother with his wife and daughter that came on. I was like, I think me and him are related, because the way he raised his children is the way that I raised my son. And a lot of times people thought I was being hard on my son, but you got to prepare them for the real world, you know, and you can't be we can give them a good life. And my son had a really good life, good, you know, education and all of that. But I also realized that he didn't know anything about the real world because he was sheltered. He was in private school. And so I always made it a point to show him what the real world looked like, you know? And so I love the brother's comments. I love what he's doing, you know, what he did with his son and his children, because if they don't learn it at home, they're going to learn it out in the street in the wrong way, you know? And so it's best to teach them at home, and if you, like, my son is 29, and it's funny because he has an 8-year-old, and now he's doing the same thing with his 8-year-old. They live out in Virginia, out in a real nice neighborhood. But he's doing the same thing with his 8-year-old that I did with him. So it's so funny when I'm watching it, because he thought I was so hard on him. But I remember my son played basketball, and so I remember he was really good. And he at a young age, and I was getting all kinds of calls for him to play in leagues and stuff. And so he was in his leagues and all of that. And then they had a friend of mine had a league in Park Heights. And some of these guys that were in the league were like literally getting off of the van coming from jail or from prison, and they were coming right on the basketball court to play basketball. So I decided to put my son in there. And I remember one game, a guy pushed him on the floor because they play street ball. My son was used to the organized sports. And so the guy pushed him on the floor, and my son stood up and looked at me and went like this. And I'm looking at him like, do what you got to do. Don't look at me. And so, you know, he went on and played. And when it was over, I said, look, if they push you, you push them back, because they playing street ball. Whatever they do to you, you do to them. And he soon learned how to play ball with them, how to talk to them, how to be around them. But that first initial thing was hard, you know. But I had to do that to let him know that everywhere you go and play basketball is not going to be like the places that you're used to going to. So sometimes we got to give him that eye opener. I took him to the detention center when he showed off and he balled his fist up. And I think he was about 13 at the time. And I told him to clean his room. And he did it so fast that I knew he didn't really clean his room. So when I went upstairs, I looked under the bed. He had pushed all his stuff under the bed. And I told him to go under the bed, pull the stuff out, and clean his room. And he had these little golf clubs behind the door. And I saw out the side of my eye, he grabbed the golf club and he was holding it up. And I was like, okay. So I went in his drawer and I emptied out his backpack, his school backpack, and I went in his drawer and I packed all of his clothes, a little bit of clothes, put them in a backpack. I drove him through the city and, you know, he kept saying, Mom, can you turn the air on? No, I can't. I drove him through the city to the detention center and a corrections officer happened to be standing outside and I made him get out. And I said, because that's your new home, because whenever you decide that you want to hold a golf club up at me and I'm working 3 jobs to take care of you, no, sir. So I left him over there with the CO. I sat in the car. And when the guy finished talking to him, I've never had to go visit my son at a prison or detention center. That scared him for life. So, you know, sometimes we got to do stuff. I just recently took my 8-year-old to the police station out in Columbia because he was showing off in school. And, you know, I took him, we went to Chick-fil-A, I let him eat, I made sure I fed him. And then I took him to the police station a couple months ago. And I sat right in the car and gave him to the officer. He was crying, Grandma, please don't leave me. I said, no, because you don't want to listen. You keep fighting in school, that's going to be your new home. So sometimes we got to do that, especially with our boys, to give them a wake-up call, to let them know what the real world looks like. And they're not going to see it. You know, we give them everything that sometimes that we didn't have or we want them to have more. But a lot of times, you know, they start feeling entitled and then you got to open that door and give them a little kick in their behind and let them know what the real world looks like. So this is a great conversation. Really good. I had to jump in and just say that because it was a real good conversation. Real great advice. Real great advice.
Appreciate it.
And if you like that advice, you could also catch more on the podcast Monday nights at 7 o'clock called Dad Mentality. So make sure you follow us. Hold on, let me change the joint. There you go. Make sure you follow Dad Mentality too. This is things we talk about, you know.
Yeah, so. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Good advice.
Another shameless plug. I send my $5, Reese. Sorry.
That's definitely. But what do you do now? How old's your son? What do you do when that don't scare him? You let the streets get him?
Well, you know, I work in the prison system. So, you know, a lot of these guys, I talk to them when we go to court. And sometimes you got to let them have that reality check because some of them, like I keep telling them, you keep throwing little stones at the prison windows and the detention center, and they gonna open the door for you. So a lot of them, no matter what the parents do, because you can't always say the parents aren't doing this, they're not doing that. I work with some really great parents, but sometimes these kids just get caught up in what's going on outside, and they just got to go see what the inside of the prison or the detention center looks like. And it's unfortunate because once they get in there, they don't understand. Like I keep telling them, it's easy to get into the system. It's hard to get out. And so, you know, once they get in, then they crying, Dr. Lady J, I want to go home. It's nothing I can do for you but come visit you. That's about it. And so sometimes, you know, we can do as much as we can as parents, and then sometimes you gotta pray for them and just hope for the best. But unfortunately, you know, sometimes life gets some of our children, and it's sad. And I know parents that, I mean, they've bending over backwards doing all they can do, but these kids, they wanna be out in the street. You know, they want the street life. And I'm talking about kids coming from good homes, like good homes. But they see all of the negativity and all the stuff that's going on in the street, and for some reason, they want to go taste it and see what it's like. And because they're not street smart, they get caught up and they end up behind the wall, you know. So yeah, sometimes you got to let them go, and you got to be clear with your children. See, you can't be going back and forth saying on today, oh, I'm gonna let you go out in the street, I'm gonna let you go to do this, that, and the third, and then tomorrow you loving them up. No, I said what I said, and like I told my son, if that's where you want to live at, you can live over there, and then they can tell you when I can come visit and when I can drop stuff up, if that's the life that you want. And there was no options for him. You either, you know, the only option is you either pay attention and do what you're supposed to do. And I love what the brother said, like, your job is to go to school, because that's what I would say to my son. Your job is to go to school and bring me back good grades and not get in trouble. That's your job every day. And so that's your option. You either do that or you can go over there and live in the prison. I'll come visit you. But it ain't no back and forth in between. I'm crying and I'm hugging you up and, you know, giving you good gifts for bad behavior. No, he will tell you. I always told him every day, you don't get rewarded for bad behavior. That you don't. And now I'm saying it to my grandson because he's spoiled rotten. You know, you don't get rewarded for bad behavior, because that's not how the real world works. The real world will swallow you up and kill you. You know, and we got to be clear with these kids, because it's 2025. They're not stupid. Like, we grew up with well, I did. I grew up with 3 channels. So I didn't really know a lot of what was going on in the world. You know, these kids know what's going on. They're not stupid. And I keep telling parents, stop coddling them and, oh, my baby this and I'm like, no, they unfortunately, they are 7 and 8 and they're little babies, but they're not stupid. They're exposed to everything. And so we got to take that into consideration. And you're either going to teach them at home and be harder on them at home, or you're going to let the streets teach them. And the streets are not, they ain't loyal. You know, like I tell the kids, the streets ain't loyal.
They ain't loyal, they ain't nice, because they ain't got no love for you. They ain't nothing. The streets.
That's true.
Lady J, so my son, I just give another quick story about that, similar to what you said. My youngest son was last year, probably went to Cracker Barrel, stole some candy out of Cracker Barrel. I made him go back in there, apologize to the manager, everything like that. Now, when we went home, I said, now I'm gonna teach you what's gonna happen if you go out in these streets and steal. So I sentenced him to 2 weeks. 2 weeks, he had to go to school, come home. When he came home, the only thing I fed him when he came home was tomato soup and cheese sandwiches, and I didn't warm up the cheese. You know what I'm saying? And he had to be in his room. I woke him up, even though he ain't had to go to school. I woke him up at 6 o'clock every morning. He had to clean up his room. Then he had to go out and do exercise, which was walking the dog, this, that, and the other. And then that's the only thing he ate for those 2 weeks was tomato soup and cheese sandwiches when he came home. And by week 1, he was begging, crying, this, that, and the other. Then I said, well, you got to go talk to your lawyer. He was like, who's my lawyer? I was like, your mother. So him and his mother had to get a case together, a plea bargain, and everything. And I was the judge, and they had to come present it to me. And he had to tell me how he learned this lesson, everything like that, blah, blah, blah. And then I said, all right, well, I'm going to take away your next week, but I'm holding 3 weeks against you. So if you do anything in the next 3 weeks, anything in the next 3 weeks, you're going to have to go, you're going to come right back in here. And you know that lesson, he changed. I mean, and my son isn't a bad kid at all. But I'm telling you right now, that dude ain't thinking about stealing nothing ever again in his life.
Rodney, and then you learn from Lilo and Stitch that there's no bad children, it's just bad decisions.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I hear you. But yeah, it was it was a great. But I did the same thing similar to my daughter when she was acting up. I took her. So my daughter's different. My daughter's like me. So I had to come. You can't spank her. If you spank her, then you just wasting your time. You know what I'm saying? She ain't gonna learn shit from that spanking. So, you know, I learned that her weakness was her privacy. So I took the door off her, and this is something we talked about on the show this Monday when she in the 9th grade. I caught her. She got caught smoking marijuana, and you know, I took the door off the hinges. I took her mattress. She had to sleep on the floor. And I took away all her privacy. I took her phone, all the electronics out of the room and everything. And she had to earn everything back. And part of earning stuff back was, of course, getting her grades back together, getting this stuff together, not missing a class, any of that kind of stuff. And after a while, she earned everything back. And I never had an issue with that ever again. You know what I'm saying? And the biggest thing I even told her then was that I'm not punishing you for what you did. I'm punishing you because you got caught. I was like, if you want to do stupid stuff, be smart enough to hide your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, you know, like when I was your age, yeah, I was drinking, I was doing all kinds of stuff. But guess what? I kept my grades. I went to school. They made sure, you know, I made sure that my parents never caught me. And I said, nowadays you gotta, you know, your thing is, you know, my thing is this. Yeah, I understand that all this stuff is out here. You got a choice. If you're going to do it, at least be smart enough to make sure I never find out.
But did you ask her why she was doing it, Rodney?
No,
why she felt the need that she needed to do it?
Yeah, we did, and she ended up going to therapy. She ended up we forced her to go to therapy, but then after that she wanted to go to therapy. You know what I'm saying? When she actually realized that therapy, because, you know, kids think therapy is they're going to tell the therapist, and then the therapist comes and runs and tells your parents. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, nah, I'm not. And then when she went, we ended up doing it. She ended up doing it online. Now she loves therapy. She still goes to therapy. And she still enjoys therapy because it helps her process. You know, therapy helps you process what you're going through. And helps you to be able to understand and figure out solutions. You know what I'm saying? Other than avoiding them. Because the problem is, even as adults, we avoid the issues more than we deal with them. Alcohol is something we use to avoid the issue. Marijuana is something we use to avoid the issue. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these things are all just tactics and ways to avoid the issue opposed to dealing with the issue and moving on. So
right. That's why I asked you that question, because you stated that you punished her for being caught. I would have asked them first, why do you feel the need that you need this, instead of punish them for being caught?
So you wouldn't have punished them? What do you mean? Is that what you're saying?
No, I would have found out the reason. Because you smoking marijuana, is that a rule that you can't smoke marijuana? Did you ever say don't smoke marijuana? There has to be there's always consequences and repercussions for your actions. I would have found out.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
When you were young, did you drink? What'd you do? What was your vice when you was a teenager? Did you do anything? What'd you do?
When I was
had to do something.
Was go to school, get good grades.
So you never did anything wrong.
Yeah, I did a whole bunch of stuff wrong. It got punished and everything.
So what was
my grandparents never asked me, and never once did they ask me, what's wrong? Why are you doing something? Why are you acting like that?
Yeah, but they told you not to do it, right? They told you not to do it. Don't do this, don't do that, correct?
Yeah, don't do this and don't do that. And then when you see them doing it themselves, they was medicating themselves. See, that's the communication and the breakdown is what I'm asking. If my son see me smoking and drinking and everything, he's going to do it too. If he see me self-medicating, because that's what I'm doing, because I got issues, and that's what we drink and you know, self-medicate. He's going to see me do it, so he's going to feel that something's so wrong that he needs to self-medicate. So I have to ask him why. What's going on? You want to know that why? Before you hand down punishment.
Nah, that's not true. Not at all.
I mean,
the world's never going to ask you why. The world is never going to ask you why.
That's because the world don't care.
Yeah. So
as a
why
parent,
would I ask that? That's what I'm trying to get to. So here's my thing.
because
Here's
you
what I'm
could have
trying to
been
say to you.
causing the weed smoking. It could have been something you doing to cause the child to have PTSD with it. That's what I'm saying. Just communication, Rodney.
There's nothing I can do that causes you to do something. You do something because you decide to do it. I
You
can
want to do
never,
it. Right.
huh? Yeah,
Right.
I can never be the cause of it. Here's the thing, and that's what I'm trying to get you to. I'm trying to get. Well, here's what I understand. I understand that everybody makes a decision. Now, you can say I made this decision for this reason. Doesn't mean that's the reason why you made the decision. You made the decision because you wanted to do it. You know what I'm saying? So let's be honest. I would never give a fuck why my child did it. You know what I'm saying? Because they can give me a million reasons until you work out the truth, the truth of the matter, which is something that you have to work out on your own. I can't, you know what I'm saying? Just because my daughter can say, I did this because I'm depressed. Okay, well, what are you depressed about? You know what I'm saying? Now but that's something that they have to work out. As a parent, I'm reacting to what was done. So she smoked marijuana, this, that, and the other. She already knows I don't want her to do that. So there's no reason to tell her don't do that. Now I want to know, okay, well, if you're going to do that, then how does this work in your eyes? You know what I'm saying? Why? I want her to realize why she's doing it. Because, if she's gonna tell me, oh, I'm stressed or all this, that, and other. Okay, that's nothing different in life. Life is stressful. Things that happen. So you're using it as an escape. You're using it as a way to get away from it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of dealing with your issue. So how can we deal with your issue? That's the questions I'm going to ask more than trying to tell her not to do it or find out why she's doing it.
That's
You know
what
what I'm saying?
Rodney.
Okay, then we agree then. So,
Okay,
you know what I mean?
that's what
We're saying the same thing in different ways, then I guess that's what we're doing. But I'm still expressing, because you told me, did I ask her why? I didn't ask her why because I don't care why.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want you to be able to work through it yourself, because when you ask a kid why they do something, half the time they don't fucking know. You know what I'm saying?
They'll lie. They'll lie.
Huh?
They'll lie. You know. So I agree, brother. I agree with you 1,000%. It's I'm not gonna ask you why, because first of all, you're a visitor in my house. So this is not a long-term agreement. I'm expecting when you finish high school that you're gonna be on your way to college or somewhere. And so in the house there are rules, and I think it comes down to knowing your children too. If you know that your children have issues, that's you know to ask questions, and to kind of touch base with them and say that. But if you know your kid is out there, they doing it because it's something that they want to try, it's not up for discussion, and you got to prepare for whatever repercussions are going to happen for punishment. That's just the way it was. That's just how I raised my son. We're not gonna have a whole bunch of discussions, because if you don't see me in here drinking, smoking weed, and getting high and all that kind of stuff, I'm not expecting you to bring that into my house. First of all, you're not even old enough to do that, because you don't pay any bills in here. So, for me, it's never.
We got to get Molly to fix her mic. I'm sorry, Lady J, your mic is kind of messed up. Yeah, Molly, I don't know if Molly's around, and I think Sheila's in the background too. Molly, I don't know if you're around to bring her up. When you're on the phone, you got to turn on on your audio. There should be like a reduced background or something noise or echo cancellation. You got to make sure all that stuff's turned on or either turned off, one of the two, because something's fighting against your mic.
And I don't see Sheila in the back.
She said, bring me in on my break. Oh, maybe, I don't know.
She was trying to get in today. Miss Sheila was trying to get in.
You sent her the link, Reese?
Yes.
All right, I don't know if there's anything you can do to her mic to fix that, Molly.
I've been trying. I think it's just the area she moving, so I think it's
there's not a screen black. I think it's her signal.
Yeah. But nah, yeah. I mean, but yeah, you gotta take it as it is. Cause I mean, one, I can't look, weed is everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Just like cigarettes was back in the day, and now it's everywhere. So for me to sit here and stand there and be like, oh, you shouldn't smoke weed and this, that, and other, you already know the repercussions. You already know what you're doing it. So now if you're going to do it, at least I want you to be smart about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I at least be smart enough to A, hide it from me and make sure that I don't find it. B, and then but see, the thing about it is, once you put that in their hands, they'll eventually realize that it's not worth it to them. You know what I'm saying? Because after that, my daughter stopped smoking. You know what I'm saying? Now, does my daughter smoke? Probably. But guess what? I ain't found shit. You know what I'm saying? She had a 3.5 GPA. She's going to school for nursing. She's doing everything great. So if she is smoking, she's at least doing her job, which is making sure I don't fucking find out. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's more important to me than to sit here and just keep on preaching a lie of a narrative, which is, you shouldn't smoke, dare, all this stuff. It's going to end up killing you or whatever the case may be. You know what? We all did stupid shit at that age. All of us. There's not one person here that went through the teenage years or the young adult years and made 100% smart decisions. So now I want to know, if you're making dumb decisions, at least you can be smart about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my opinion on how I went. And I'm talking about in her older years, because it's sitting there. Weed is everywhere. Cigarettes are everywhere. She told me that she went on Instagram and got the weed delivered to her school. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? How am I? How am I supposed to fight that? You know what I'm saying? That is so accessible. How are you supposed to fight that? So now I gotta say, well, if you're gonna do dumb shit, at least be smart about it. You know what I'm saying? A, make sure I don't find out. B, don't be skipping class so that your teachers call me. Don't be getting bad grades so I can obviously see what's going on. And then once you put that stuff in their hands, they start thinking that it's not even worth it. And I did have proof. Unfortunately, to give you the whole story, when I found out she was doing it, I went on my daughter's phone, found a video of them that day. Go ahead.
Stop waiting. You're gonna wait forever.
I'll wait for David.
No, I was saying Sheila said bring her in. She's on lunch break.
Right.
I did. I don't see her. Molly,
she's assuming that, like, if she watching, we can just add her to the screen. This ain't like a Facebook Live screen. We on Facebook Live, but we not.
Shelly, you gotta click the link.
You gotta click the link that Reese sent you, and they tell you everything else to do from there.
Yeah, I sent you the link in your messenger on Facebook Messenger.
So I found a video of them smoking, and I sent it to myself. I held it, and I said, cool. Now here's how it's going to work. You know what I'm saying? If you don't get your grades together, you don't get this stuff together, not only will you, and of course she got on punishment, but I said my next step is I'm going to send it to all the parents of the kids that are in this video. And then I went to one of her best friends, her male best friends. I've known this kid since they were 5 years old in kindergarten. And I went to him and told him the same damn thing. I said, if my daughter misses another class, I'm sending this video to your parents. And so not only was she had to be responsible, he was watching her too, because he didn't want his parent. And I told him to get his shit together too. And they all ended up getting their shit together. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that we talked about on the show that just passed. My daughter talks about that particular thing. And she said that ended up being the best thing that happened to her. That was me catching her, and then me also helping her work through everything that she was going through. Because even though I was mad, I still gave her a safe place to discuss it with me and work through it. You know what I'm saying? And we worked through it. Even though she was punished, we ended up working through this whole thing together. And that's when we got her in therapy. That's when I learned that when my daughter's having an emotional day, that sometimes as a father, all I want to do is fix it. And sometimes, and I had to learn to sometimes just give her a hug and let her work through it herself. You know what I'm saying? Because you know that's important to your parent kids too. That's important too. That you know that sometimes you gotta let, and that's what I was going to about what Dr. J said. Is sometimes you gotta let these kids just work through it because, and it's hard to do, but you gotta let them do it. You know what I'm saying? And then when they do it, they come out the other end so much better because you allowed them to work through it instead of just punishing them or shunning them for what they did. You allowed them to work themselves through that process. So that's all. I'm done with that now.
Okay, David,
You
Molly.
on point though about what you were saying. You on point though.
Appreciate it.
Anybody else got anything else to add to that?
Well, I mean, we different in our family. You know, they allow, you know, us to smoke at an early age. You know, I ain't smoked till I was 25, and I think that's the reason. Because if I wanted to, I could have. You know, but some, you know, my little brother, he was smoking way before me, my sisters and stuff like that. But my mother and them was more worried. And my sister today, she do that. If one of her kids was decide to smoke, she don't play that you smoking outside with any and everybody with your friends, because it ain't, because today's time different. They got fentanyl and stuff in this stuff. So they don't know what weed is, what good weed, what bad weed, and we do. So we like, if you gonna get weed from anybody, you get it from us or we get it for you. You know, if not, they gonna go out here and get it themselves anyway. And it's just too much bullshit going on here, especially for the girls. You know, I just don't trust it. You know, but it's still, these kids gonna do what they want to do. Like, I ain't want to smoke. I ain't smoked till I was 25 years old. You know, so it's still a decision they gonna make. And you know, no matter how you go about it, you know, I just think the individual gonna make the best decision for them. And we ain't never really caused somebody to just do some dumb shit. Now, alcohol, I'm more worried about that than anything. Like, I wouldn't really want to allow my kid to drink outside of my presence. If they getting up to age and they might want to take a drink on New Year's, we used to can do that, take a little drink or whatnot. But I ain't drink. I still don't drink. That was just, but I know my brothers and them was able to take drinks and whatnot, only on special occasions. But kids, I used to see my friends get drunk. We'd get a crackhead or something to go in the store, buy the liquor, pay him like $2-3, and he'd get it every time. And when they get that liquor and them, we do dumb shit, you know, just like things that I know we wouldn't have did if all these dudes were sober. You know, it's like they don't want to do nothing positive no more. So that's the only thing. But we used to see these kids laid back. They laughing, they cracking jokes. So weed was never a problem with me. You know, I just worried about them getting weed outside and don't really know what's the good, what's the bad, what's fentanyl, what's not, because there's some evil people out here that just be doing dumb shit. But they got dispensaries now. So if you're a parent, you go buy your kid weed, I ain't mad. I prefer you to make sure they get it and it's something good than them go out here just getting it off the streets or calling a nigga on Instagram and he pull up. Because they will pull up. Like, it's so easy to get marijuana today. It's just like, God damn, you can't keep it from them.
Yeah, I know.
In my household, if I can speak, of course, my grandparents shunned anything because they said weed was the gateway drug. I remember one time I came in a house and my eyes were red because of my allergies, and my grandfather excused me of getting high. He said, "Oh, you want to be a loser? You want to be?" Because they thought that smoking weed is the gateway drug to other stuff to be a loser. So, but they drunk in front of me. They didn't care if I took a sip of beer, whatever. They didn't care about the alcohol. They was more concerned about the other drugs. And I guess it's the time that they came up and that they came in. Okay. Now, with my son, what I did in my household, I told him if he want to get high or if he want to drink, let me know. I'll get it for him because I'd rather him do it inside the house. I said, you be the coolest kid on the block that your mother let you smoke or drink if you want to, but you can do it inside the house. You don't have to go out there and do that in the public. You don't have to go out there in the streets to do it because that's where you get in trouble. if you out there smoking and drinking. That's where they arrest you. That's where you make dumb decisions. But you sitting here on your couch playing your game or doing your whatever, you can. I remember one time, and I got that because one time he drunk my coolers, and I remember I whooped him. He was so drunk, and I spanked him. And I didn't spank him for drinking the cooler. I spanked him for stealing. Because when you take something that's not yours, that's stealing. I told you to ask, and let me, you know.
Where the hell he was at? Said, where was he at? He was in the house?
He was in the house, yeah.
Yeah, you still out the house. Kid, juice. It's in fridge, it's juice in the refrigerator. It's for everybody. Huh? Some wine in here too.
Something of not asking. I told him, when you take something and you don't ask, that is stealing. If it's not yours, if it's not yours, you have to get permission.
These for the grown-ups right here. You gotta let them know. See, he was the only kid that had you gonna know which one was drunk that shit.
He knew that. And because I grew up with everybody in the house in my family smoking weed, except for my grandparents. But all their children would sneak and do it or whatever. Since my aunt was smoking since she 12, and she'll tell you that she smoked weed since she 12. She said it lets her know where the evil lurks. Some people need to be calm and help them sedate it. I'd rather for them to smoke than give them the pill. Then the psychiatrist say, take this Zoloft, take this, take this, that. You take a damn Zoloft and miss 8 hours of your life. How long do weed smoking last? How long do a joint last? Do it last 8 hours?
Hell no.
But do it make you still able to function and do stuff? I know that some of the other pills that they be trying to get you on don't. But I had to find out why was he even drinking? What was he trying to get away from?
That ain't weed,
though.
I'm
talking to him, and we went into family counseling, family therapy, because
family therapy.
Yeah, because that's they counsel you and the child, because the child is just triggers from somewhere. That's why I said PTSD. I cared about what was going on in my child's life. I cared about what he was going through. I'm trying to talk and listen so I can help him make better decisions. Instead of, it don't matter what you're going through, or I don't care what you're doing. I care. I care to listen. I care how we're going to figure this thing out, because you're doing it for a reason. What's the reason? Is it peer pressure? Or do you really got something on your mind that's bothering you? Is it bullying? Is somebody picking with you? Is somebody touching you? You don't know these questions until you ask these questions. And you got to let them know that if something's going on, that they can come to you and talk to you. That they don't have to fear that you're just going to punish me. You're not going to listen to me. Everybody's run their household the way they want it. Everybody's different. But, I need to know.
I didn't see my kid better come and tell me. If I got to go get them group therapy, then they not telling me. They must not telling me something. I need them to come talk with them. But shit, I hopefully we don't get there. I want my kids to always feel comfortable to come to me about anything. Now, if I don't know what's going on, I can't figure it out, then it might come to those tech that you was talking about. But that's you and your child. That's the living room. We used to say family meeting. That's therapy right there. Family meeting, everybody downstairs. Then everybody come to this front room and hey, this what's going on. That was family therapy for us. And anything going on in here, stay in here. So it was always weird when I hear like people went out and talked to strangers about it, but I didn't understand what therapy was at the time. I had friends like we had to sit down and talk, but their parents was going through a divorce, so they was trying to make sure he was all right. He ain't understand really none of that shit. He ain't care. He was like, I got 2 Christmases now. I got one over here, one over there. But I don't know. I think parents really be overthinking sometimes. Just probably because they think this will cause my trauma. I never got this looked into and I think that's what help kids grow. You gotta go through shit. Like what? My son first heartbreak, I'm gonna be right there for him. Hopefully I can be there for him, but I'm gonna be happy he can go through it. I hope it ain't gonna be so later down the line that he grown. I hope it's early age, just like it was for me. I'm like 11 years old, heartbroken. Mom, she did it. I can't believe her. I'm done with these. But it's like you gotta learn from that. She ain't like this what you do, none of that. She just laughed a little bit, said it's gonna be all right. You're gonna have plenty more girlfriends. And a week later, I was like, and she was like, see, I told you, got another girlfriend already. Boy, I got a handsome son. Like, you know, she just gassed me up. But that's the thing you learn. You fall, you get up. You come running my mother. Oh, God, my arm, look, it's bleeding. My mother will smack you in the goddamn cut if you ran to her crying about that. She didn't want to hear. So it got to the point, when you get hurt, you know, if you come in the house crying about you got a blood or something cut up, you in the house for the day. So you don't go near the house. You be figuring, they be like, damn, you bleed like, yeah, it's like, get the water hose. I'm just going, because I don't want to go near the house. Because if I go in the house, they go, oh, come on, we got to clean it. No, just sit there. You ain't got time. You keep fucking flipping off and busting your head and nah. So you just deal with it. But now they pick kids up at the early little thing. Oh, get up. Oh, my God. It can get infected and this and this. We was kids out there eating dirt. We was playing dirt fights and all that shit, piling leaves up, jumping in it. I'm like, these kids scared to get dirty now. And they fresher than the adults.
Yep.
Say Reese. He's not Reese Nosy. That's your brother. I will.
You said I'm nosy.
I'm at Woo.
Yeah. Talking about with Slack, probably. I want to share one more thing, but you might be done for the day. We got the rapping.
Yeah.
That's it. We talk about this.
Reese, what?
Who? Slicky?
You said Reese something.
Nosy.
Oh, hell yeah, I'm nosy. Shit.
What's up,
I
big
want to know what's
cream
going
out there?
on. I
Okay.
ain't gonna lie. Yeah, nosy.
Said I walk away until they're ready to talk about it.
Hey,
I walk my daughter. I walk into my daughter crying. I'm like, "You all right?" She's like, "Yeah," but I want to talk about it. I'm in the room, and I walk the fuck away.
You don't
wanna
say
talk
what's
about
wrong,
it?
why you
Hell nah.
You know you all right.
No, not at all. I be asking every fucking day.
You know what I do? I even go in Tyree's room sometimes, but say, "You all right? You okay?"
He be annoyed with your ass.
I damn sure don't ask him at
so
30.
annoyed by you. He was so annoyed by you.
No, because for 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm just making sure
He have
the TV off, you know, and everything's on, everything's copacetic.
He gotta have his TV off. He grown. Let him have that shit
No, I
on
mean,
all night.
you know, the TV.
No, cut that shit on.
Now when you gotta pay electric shit.
You gonna have nightmares. That TV ain't running up your bill. It's that motherfucking air conditioner you got pumping 24/7.
I'm smart.
24/7 ice box.
Let me down my temperature back.
They don't say nothing when you take an hour and a half long showers with that shower head. Shit, leave his ass alone. Let him watch some TV.
He don't even knock on the door and say, "Ma, you okay?" Only at one time when I failed. And he heard me fail. He came out. He heard.
When you walk in the house and smell that honey baked ham going, he don't say shit. He go right in his room.
He asked me, "Am I cooking bacon?"
Mm-hmm.
Ask me what I cook.
Wow.
What he smell. What I cook. But it's because I've been cooking something.
Gosh.
Bacon strips.
Man, cooking that cooch. That's why.
Yep. Wow,
I ain't boiling it no more. I ain't boiling no ham.
Oh, you got a chef now? You got a chef now for the cooch? Or nah, you still over there, what is it called? You a vegan or some shit. Your cooch ain't taking no meat. You got that vegan cooch over there. You got that Molly cooch. That Molly.
I got Molly.
Yeah, cooch been vegan for 3 years.
Right.
Got that plant-based.
Yeah.
Got that shower head based cooch.
What they call it? I'm dead.
Well, what we doing? I thought we was watching another video. We ending the show. What the hell going on? I'm sorry. I kind of zoned out for a minute.
Yeah. If they asked them if they wanted to, but guess I said it for next Wednesday. Yeah, my boy Jerome.
Show that last video.
Yeah.
Want to show the last video? Show the last video.
Oh,
always try to push some shit forward when
Nah, that shit was just it wasn't in a video. It was one of the former center for the Rams. You know, he retired at 29 after he was the highest paid center. He could have been still the highest paid center, but he said fuck it, he was on a mission. So he retired, bought 1,000 acres and started his own farmland, and he be giving back to different communities and food banks. Yeah, and his agent told him it wasn't going to work. He's making the worst mistake in his life, and now a couple of years later, it's grown. So I thought we should share that because we always say what people doing about it. He didn't know how to grow. He learned from YouTube. He just said fuck it. He tired of seeing people out here eating bad and and he ain't gonna just talk about it. He gonna actually do something about it. He retired football to do it. He used to play for the Rams. His name, I think Jerome or James. I know it's Brown. I was going to share. We'll share next Wednesday. Talk about it a little bit tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Yeah. Charlie nice. Jason Brown. Yeah, that's his name. Jason Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
What you thanking him for? He didn't do shit for you.
I'm just
for somebody else that is doing something for us. You do one for one, you do one for all. Celebrating everybody.
Listen to this bullshit she preaching now. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, I know. I don't think you believe it at all.
Look at this Bubba Gump looking ass nigga.
Yeah.
You like the dude on Sinners.
Blindside.
I got watermelons, cotton, peaches, blueberries, strawberries.
I got water.
Oh yeah, he got his shit on here. I think he got cucumbers and shit like that.
Cucumbers, we got all kinds of cumbers. We got cucumbers, we got cucumbers.
Yeah, he got
I ain't gonna hate on this greatness. Thank you, Jason Brown, for giving back to your community. I wish everybody had a heart like
That's
yours.
right. Dude, I just got done eating some Asian fruit.
Y'all can have a heart like that too if you wanted it. Hello.
Damn, did she get up and walk away when you was done, David? Your Asian food. Did she get up and walk away when you was done?
No, I said Asian fruit.